morning, everyone. How's everybody's day going? Happy Thursday. We are just a day away from Friday. It's almost a weekend. Hopefully, you're all having a great day. Hopefully, you're all having a great week. How's everybody's day going? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. We are on the road to 900 subscribers. And also hit those heart emojis at the bottom. It does help out with the YouTube with this stream, so I would greatly appreciate that. And if you're over on X, if you're watching this on X, come over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, join in on the conversation. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We got a little bit to talk about today. We'll get everybody's. I would love to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions. I'm gonna do an open panel, so I'll put out the link a little bit later and invite you all on one at a time, and we'll just have a good conversation, hopefully. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Who do we have this morning? We have Ken in the building. What's up, Ken? How you doing? Rodney Green, what's up, my guy? How you doing? Jonathan, what's up? Nosebleed section, what's up, man? We got Gusto in the building. What's up, Gusto? That's right. Just send out the love, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash those emojis. Appreciate you, man. Good morning to Joe. Stephen B, what's up? Dev Finch, what's up? We got Lou in the building. FJ's in the building. Heme's in the building. What's up? What's up? What's up? But thank you all for coming on and joining me this morning. But yeah, so Yankees had a doubleheader yesterday. Unfortunately, they split. All right. And Damien, my guy, what's up, bro? How you doing this morning, Damien? What's up? What's up, man? How you doing? If you got time, Damien, let me know. But yeah, so Yankees had a doubleheader yesterday and they split, right? The first game, they won 5-2, right? Game one, they won 5-2. I'll pull up the box score real quick. Let's see what we got. So Luis Hill pitched a good game. He struggled a little bit in the beginning of the game, but then he picked it up. Pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, did not give up any runs. He walked 5, struck out 6. The walk was a little high, but he still got 6 strikeouts. And what do you call it? He didn't give up any runs. All right. His record now is 12-5. So he had a good performance yesterday. The bullpen came in and did their job. Clay Holmes got his 24th save. So good job to the pitching staff. And I see a few other folks in the chat. Jake Boss, what is going on, Jake? Good morning to you. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining. Appreciate all of you and your support, as always. And as far as the Yankees bats go, there was a few bright spots here, right? So, you had Alex Verdugo, who went 2 for 5. He hit 2 doubles yesterday. I got an RBI. Juan Soto in game 1 didn't have a great game. He went 0 for 4. He did walk 1 time. Aaron Judge went 2 for 3. Austin Wells went 2 for 4. Some great improvement from Austin Wells. Finally, I would say he is a threat after Aaron Judge, which is nice to see. Jazz Chisholm, unfortunately, we'll talk about him. He did not have a great game 1, and game 2 wasn't any better, but he went 0 for 4 in game 1, struck out all 4 bats. Anthony Volpe went 1 for 4. Trent Grisham went 1 for 4. Ben Rice went 0 for 2, but he walked twice. And then Oswaldo Cabrera went 1 for 3. He hit a solo shot. So, was it the greatest performance from the bats? No, but they still got the job done. The pitching, did their job as well, right? So Luis Hill improved to a 12-5 record. He's started to look like the Luis Hill that we saw in the beginning of the season. There was a few starts where he struggled heavily. But it looks like he's turned it back around. But what do you all think about Luis Hill? Like, what do you think let me ask this question. What do you think his record is going to be by the end of the season? What do you think? John the Beagle Dad, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, I mean, nobody's happy about the split, but what are you going to do? Yeah, Yankees missed a few home runs due to cool weather. Yeah, man, there was a few balls that came close. Um, you know, that came close to leaving the park, but unfortunately it didn't. You're saying Jazz might have had a bad game, but how great start from. Yeah. I mean, look, every player is gonna good player is gonna hit their slumps. I mean, they're gonna have a spell where they are not are going to be in a little bit of a slump, right? But I think he'll break out of it, right? I know he struck out 4 times in game one, and then he struck out twice in game two. He struck out 6 times in those 2 games. I mean, it's wasn't his day, wasn't his day, but what are you going to do? But folks, what do you all think about Luis Hill? How many wins do you think Luis Hill gets? And let's see what we got. So Jake Boss says 16 wins for Hill. Okay. Nosebleed section says 17. Joe thinks 15. It's kind of where I'm leaning. I think 15 games. Appreciate you. And I know you got a job interview, so good luck to you, man. I hope it works out. Hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, if Jazz plays good D and with energy, I can live with some of the strikeouts. True. I mean, so far his defensive play at third base has been looking good. Ronnie Green thinks 16. Ken thinks 16. Gusto thinks 16. I'm leaning towards 15. But if he gets more than 15, fantastic. I'd still be happy with 15 wins. So we'll see what happens. And then what do we got? 16 wins, runner up to Wells' rookie of the year. Okay. All right. I like that. So just sending a quick text here. Yeah, I don't like the deliberate walk. I don't like it either, man. I don't like the intentional walks either, but unfortunately it's part of the game. Maybe Major League Baseball will come out with a rule saying we're gonna limit that to like 2 or 3 a game or something, right? I mean, there's all these changes in Major League Baseball now as far as the rules go. Yeah, Rice does have to start hitting. He's got good patience at the plate. I mean, he's able to draw walks. I do like his approach to the plate. But yeah, he does need to start, raking up, getting some hits. So we'll see what happens. Wells has become impressive. I agree. Yeah, Wells has come into his own, and this is what happens when you give somebody like him consistent playing time. He performs well at the plate, and he does. He's been better behind the plate too. He's been better defensively. He has been. I mean, yeah, he might. There's times where the runners on the opposing team will steal on him. It's going to happen, but I feel like compared to where it was, from a couple of months ago, I feel like defensively he's been better. So, yeah, I don't like the intentional walks of him of Judge either, but it's a strategy and it's part of the game. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised, Joe. The reason being is because they wanted to. I'm sure they wanted him to go 5, right, to make it easier on the bullpen. It was a doubleheader, so I don't think they wanted to use all their bullpen arms in a doubleheader. I think if the game wasn't a doubleheader, then I don't think he would have gone over 100 pitches. But it's one of those rare times where he goes over, where he's going to go throw over 100. So you know, that last inning, that fifth inning when he pitched, he was throwing nothing but heat. He did well. He did well. The fact that we have two young guys who are in rookie of the year talk is exciting. Yeah, seriously. Seriously. I mean, there's Luis Hill. Luis Hill has got a lot of potential. And Austin Wells again. He's made great improvement. Hey, what's up, Josh? Oh, you're going to the Yankees game today? Is there going to be a game today, you think, folks? I've been hearing there's a lot of rain in the forecast. Are they going to be able to get a game in? What's the weather looking like in New York for those of you that are there? They're not. Well, yeah, they're not going to be able to make a contact. It's just a matter of when. Yeah. I mean, and Giancarlo Stanton, we already know him pretty well, right? He's one of those guys that, after he comes back from injury, it's a little bit of a slow start. So you got to give him a little bit of time. So Giancarlo will come into his own, and come playoff time, I mean, you could expect Giancarlo to play well. At least I'm confident that he will. I mean, when it comes to the postseason, Giancarlo Stanton comes alive. So hopefully we see that. But I will hopefully he starts hitting now rather than later. But again, whenever he comes back from injury, he doesn't always hit well. Wells doing well defensively and offensive catcher to do it. A rookie makes impressive guy. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, I mean, double headers, it's unfortunately out of the team's control, out of our control. I mean, the weather is the weather. If the team had a retractable roof, then there probably wouldn't be double headers. But unfortunately, Yankee Stadium does not have that. But so strong chance of a rainout today. Got it. Yeah, I was wondering if there was going to be a game today, just because of what I've been hearing about the weather back in New York. So I don't know if there's going to be if there's going to be a game. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing a pregame today, just based on some of the things that I've been hearing. Right. And then real quick, I wanted to talk about game 2 yesterday. Right. So I'm not going to dive too much into it. The Yankees lost that game 8-2. All right. It wasn't a great performance by Will Warren. Look, he pitched just a little over 4 innings. He struck out 6, walked 3, gave up 8, one of them being a grand slam. The bullpen, they did what they had to do. They did what they had to do. The bats were, not alive in this game, but the second game was not great. Was not great, right? But folks, like I know Will Warren, right? There's been a lot of talk about Will Warren. I've talked to guys like Dane Huber, who have who focuses a lot on Yankees prospects, and I'm sure most of you already know who Dane Huber is. And I talked to guys like Rob from Pinstripe Chronicles, but Dane, as you know, again, focuses a lot on Yankees prospects, and I've talked to him about Will Warren. And the second game, yeah, it wasn't great. He didn't have a strong outing. His first major league game that he pitched in was against the Phillies last week, and he had given up a 3-run home run. He had given up 4 runs, but he turned it around. Right, to his credit, he turned it around. His control is an issue. Right, his control is an issue. He's a work in progress. I'm not going to judge somebody after 2 games, and especially for someone who doesn't have who has barely has Major League Baseball experience. He's barely scratching the surface. So I'm sure there's some fans out there that are saying that Will Warren is not the guy, and he's not. He's even struggling in in the minor leagues. But honestly, he's not like an ace type pitcher, right? He's not an ace type pitcher. He's got good pitches. He's been, he was highly touted by scouts, but at best, he's probably, like a number 3 starter, maybe a number 4. He's not an ace pitcher. He's not going to be a number 1, right? And that was my understanding when I was talking with Dane about this, right? So, and it makes sense. He doesn't, he doesn't have like the ace type stuff, but he could be an effective pitcher. So, again, at best, he's probably a number 3, number 4. I'm not gonna judge him yet, right? After 2 starts, you need to give somebody like him a full season, right? It's kind of like Anthony Volpe last season, right? I don't like to bring it up every time, but Anthony Volpe, it was his rookie year. Was it a great year for him? No, it wasn't. And it wasn't really an ideal year. I mean, that Yankees team in 2023 was not great. And unfortunately, he didn't have a great rookie season, but a lot of fans were writing him off. I'm not ready to write off Will Warren just yet. I think he's a work in progress, right? And I think, at best he's going to be a number 3 starter. So, give him, you got to give him time. Give him some time, let him develop, right? And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I get it. But I think he needs time. I think he's got potential, but he needs he needs time. He needs time to develop. So hopefully it works out for him. I'm still pulling for him. I think he's got potential. Yankees have some pitchers in their minor league system that have some potential. So, but yeah, he does have some control issues and still has a lot of work to do. But I think he'll be fine. But I see a few other folks. So Ray, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. Sunil, what is going on? And shout out to my guy Gusto for the 199 super chat. Thank you, my guy. Thank you so much, bro. You're the man. You're the man. So thank you so much for the 199 super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Always appreciate everybody's support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, homegrown, back of the rotation starter. I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, that's what he is. He's probably going to be a number 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a number 4 in the future in this in the Yankees rotation, starting rotation. So we'll see what happens. Well, based on what everybody's saying, there's a 70% chance of rain in the Bronx today and tomorrow. So I'm hoping there's a game today. I hope it doesn't get postponed. And if it does get postponed, how are they going to make it up? That's the big question. So, we'll see what happens. I think Warren just needs time. We as fans need patience. Let the kids have growing pains, and that's just it. And that's just it, right? Expect these guys to have growing pains. Right. I mean, if you're wanting to play the youth, if you're wanting to play the guys from the minors, if you're trying to call the guys up from the farm and you want the guys from the farm to play in the major league level and give them more opportunity, do expect these guys to make mistakes. They're gonna fail. These things are going to happen, folks. I mean, it's just inevitable, right? Will Warren is not going to be like Paul Skeens, where he's just going to come out and pitch lights out. He needs time. He needs time. I think with time, I think he will be better. I think, and again, he'll be a solid number 3 or 4. And it's just like the same thing with with Ben Rice, right, who was called up. He made a few mistakes himself, but it happens. It happens. These guys are guys like Ben Rice, Volpe, right? Like they're still young. They're still trying to get that experience at the Major League Baseball level. So, it's definitely not easy. But hopefully, if the game gets played today, hopefully the Yankees can take the series. They still get 2 out of 3. I mean, as of right now, when we look at the standings, the Yankees at this moment, they're tied. They're back to being tied for first place with the Orioles. They're both 68 and 47. So they both have the best record in the American League right now. So the Guardians are right now just one. They have one less win than the Yankees and Orioles. Guardians there were had the best record in the AL at one point, but it looks like the Yankees and Orioles have the best record right now. So. Hey, what's up, Texas Buckeye? I haven't I haven't been watching the Olympics, I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't really been watching the Olympics. But is this athlete a wrestler, or what's the story with him? Yo, Erica, what's up? What is going on, Erica? Shout out to Erica. If y'all haven't tuned in to the play-by-play, check out yesterday's play-by-play. Erica does the best strikeout pose ever, 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 ever. Shout out to Erica. Busy at work? You're good. You're good. Yeah, her strikeout pose is epic for sure. Yeah, I mean, every pitcher, whether ace or not, I mean, um they're gonna have their struggles. I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, no, I mean the best of them, the best of the best have had their struggles, and even your number three, number four are gonna have their struggles. We've seen it. So you know, Warren is not gonna be like a Garrett Cole. Now they're talking about guys like Chase Hampton, who has like Garrett Cole type stuff, right? I'm not saying Chase Hampton's going to be the next Garrett Cole. Like I'm not trying to say that, but he has the potential, right? So you think the Yankees play tonight, but they don't play tomorrow? Got it. New York's been getting slammed with rain lately, so I mean, I do know that. Oh, okay, she's a freestyle wrestler. Cool. Okay. Got it. Yeah, John Smoltz. I mean, shoot, he was an excellent pitcher. I like John Smoltz, and he was the same. He had he had some starts where he struggled. I mean, again, these things do happen. Will Warren, what a dud of a game. Yeah, just get it back today. Exactly. Again, I'm not going to crap on Will Warren. I still think he deserves a fair shot, like everybody else does. And I think he'll be fine. He just needs time, right? Let's see if he could develop into the pitcher that we're all hoping for. So I'm not too worried about I'm not worried about Will Warren just yet. I mean, he's only pitched in 2 games, so I'm not gonna crap on him just yet. And yes, I do know he's struggling in the minors. I get that. There's been some improvement, but I'm not gonna write him off just yet. So, what's up, Albert? When the Yanks fall apart, it's the whole team, not just one player. I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, when the team doesn't play well, when the Yanks fall apart, it's the whole team for sure. It's not just one player. One player doesn't do the job. You win as a team, you lose as a team, right? But if there's one player that's not performing, there's other guys that need to pick it up. So unless your name is Gleyber Torres, I was waiting for somebody to say something about Gleyber. Oh man, Erica coming through in the clutch. I just see her doing her little strikeout pose now, like, yeah, got him. Warren is not a finished product. Guy needs to work on control. I think he'll be fine. He just needs time. Yeah, control is the biggest thing I see from him. He does have a lot of control issues. It's kind of like with Luis Hill, right? He had some control issues in the beginning of the season, but he got in a groove and started becoming the pitcher that we did not expect. right? When he got the job out of spring training, when he won the job out of spring training, he, had some struggles. He had some control issues. He was getting flustered. He was getting frustrated with himself, and he was letting the umpire, get to him. So he had to learn how to, control his emotions, control his pitches. He got better. I mean, it's you kind of, and hopefully you'll see that with Will Warren. When he gets his chance, when he's a full-time starter, hopefully. A big hole early. Yeah. Well, again, it's Will Warren, right? I mean, it's his first. It's his first. It's his second time pitching in the major leagues. So guy needs a bigger resume. Yeah, I think DJ LeMahieu. He was a bright spot yesterday in the second game. I mean, it was a small bright spot, but I mean, he went 2 for 4. So I mean, DJ's been getting his hits. I'm not saying he's going to be the player that he once was, but he's getting his hits. This is the reason we can't impulsively talk about DFAing guys or calling prospects up too soon. Baseball is unforgiving. Yeah, and that's something that a lot of fans need to understand. The New York Yankees win number 28. We need to see a Mrs. NFE. A Mrs. NFE? No such thing exists. Yeah, that's your fear with Dominguez, which is why I say what I say. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jason Dominguez, I mean, we saw a small sample size of him last year. I like what I saw from him, but it was a small sample size. I would love to see him, play a full season just to see what we're getting from him. And we'll more than likely see that next season, all right, in 2025. So, I think Verdugo is gone after the season. I think he'll play for another team, hopefully we see Jason Dominguez take over left field. Dominguez came in and made immediate impact. He's different. He will slump at points, but his ceiling is crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. As long as he could stay healthy too, right? I'm not saying this guy's injury prone, but he had Tommy John surgery. He was making his progress. I mean, fans were so quick to call him up, and then it's like, well, let him continue playing, let him continue recovering. And then, he had that, what was it? His oblique, if I'm not mistaken. He had an oblique injury and he was out for a while. Right. So, that was a time when all those injuries hit. So it's just, you gotta give him time, when these players are coming back from injury. DJ going to go deep and get us number 28. Oh, bro, I'm telling you. It was 8 games. Once the league adjusts, and let's see if he makes the adjustments. Yeah. For sure. And Gusto coming through again. That's right. We're about 30 minutes into the stream, folks. So make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash those heart emojis. I would greatly appreciate it, folks. We're on the road to 900 subscribers, folks. So, of course, the ultimate goal is to get to that 1,000. Once I get to that 1,000, I do want to do a couple of giveaways just as a way of saying thank you. But I think it'd be amazing. Shut up, Sunil. I got to bring my daughter to work. I hope you all. All right, man. Well, have a good day, bro. Have a good day. Have a good day at work. But yeah, so let's get into this next subject here, and I'll put out the link to the open panel here soon. But I want to get everybody's thoughts on, some of the reinforcements that are going to be back, right? Great response. That's funny. But some of the reinforcements that are coming back there, folks. I mean, you have, guys like Anthony Rizzo, Jose Trevino, Clark Schmidt, Cody Poteet, Scott Effross, right? Ian Hamilton, Nick Birdie, John Birdie, right? These guys are coming back, and you know it's going to be interesting, right? Because what do the Yankees do, right? What moves do they make? Like who do they how do they make room for these guys? Like what's gonna happen when these guys come back? Like who gets moved? I mean, this is something that I was discussing with Ken, with Jason from 161. What happens? You know, what up, Jordan? How you doing? Like what happens to these guys? I hope they don't blow us with these choices. Because if we look at the pitching, right? If we look at the pitching, you have guys like Ian Hamilton and Nick Birdie coming back. Like who in that bullpen is getting moved? Let's talk about that for a minute. With the pitching, you have Clark Schmidt coming back. You have Nick Birdie coming back. You have Ian Hamilton who will be back. Cody Poteet, Clark Schmidt. Like who gets moved? DFA Torres. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't get DFA'd. Seriously, this guy finds a way to be still be on the team. Birdie pitcher has been optioned to AAA. Efros needs to get control fixed. Agreed. How sharp are the men going to be? I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. Warren has already been sent down there, Jonathan. He was the 27th man, so he already got designated back to AAA. So White Sox dismissed manager. Big surprise. Trevino is a concern. His arm will be exploited in playoffs. But what do we got for pitching? What are we thinking? Be on the hot seat when Schmidt comes back for sure. Do you see one of these guys getting moved to the bullpen there, Erica? What are we thinking? Kaylee, Cousins, or Tonkin are the only ones I see that can be replaced. Yeah. So I don't see. Okay, so Nosebleed and everybody else, I don't see Tonkin getting replaced. I really don't. Honestly, I think he remains with the bullpen. He's been a bright spot coming out of that bullpen. I like Michael Tonkin. Cousins and Canely, I can see them getting replaced. Right, Canely especially because I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a free agent after this year. Nestor to the pen, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. And they need another lefty in the bullpen anyway because they only have Tim Hill. Stroman, yeah, he's a little bit of a liability. I would agree. Hamilton has an option. So you think you think they keep him in the farm or in the minors? Send Nestor to the pen when Clark comes back. We also don't need Stroman making any more starts. Yeah, for sure. Clark Schmidt said that he would love to get back into the rotation, but at the same time, he said that he wouldn't mind coming out of the bullpen either. Like he said, if the team starts him, has him come out the bullpen, he'd be open to it. This is going to be a whole. I think we're going to see a different team next year there, no doubt. No way Hamilton stays in the minors unless he struggles. He was our setup guy at one point. This is true. I just have I have a hard time believing that Hamilton won't be on this roster. Clark might go to the pen and build. Yeah, and that's what might end up happening. Tonkin isn't going anywhere. Cousins sent down. Canely DFAs. That's kind of what I'm envisioning. Cousins could. Yes, Cousins either gets DFA'd or sent down. Canley DFAs. I would agree with that. Yeah, Ian Hamilton. I mean, when he's on, man. He's a good pitcher, good setup guy for sure. Possible. Are you talking about Ian Hamilton being in the minors there, Stephen B? Because I do agree with Erica. I don't see him in the minors unless he struggles. Because he was like she said, he was the setup guy. No, he got sent back down. Massachusetts, if I'm saying that last name right. He'd go along with Cousins to AAA. Alternatively, Hill gets DFA'd in addition to one of these moves. So yeah, I mean Hill's the only. Oh, Hamilton, I got you, Stephen B. Yeah, Hill's the only lefty though. So he gets DFA'd. Does that mean Nestor goes back to the pen? Yeah, I think I heard Dane say something about Cody Poteet. Yeah, I think I heard him say the same thing, that he may not be back. Although I don't know. I like Cody Poteet. He's been good for the team, actually, especially those few games where he started with Clark Schmidt being hurt. I mean, he's been good. He's been good. So it'll be interesting. Tim Hill and Jake Cousins probably odd men out. Yeah, you're probably. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, Erica. I mean, Cousins I see for sure. Tim Hill, the only reason I'm wondering about him is because again he's the only lefty out of that bullpen, and the Yankees don't have another lefty. They traded away Caleb Ferguson, which I mean I don't blame them, but they hardly have any lefties. So no, all good, all good. I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know, man. I just don't know if he. Yeah, Gonzalez is in AAA, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to bring him back up. I doubt it. D-Rod, he is here. What's up, D-Rod? Good morning, bro. Good morning to you. What is going on, D-Rod? He has escaped the closet. Cousins has an option, I think. I think he does. I'm not. I'd have to look it up. I haven't seen. But how's the? Hopefully, you all are surviving the storm down there in Florida. For those of you that live in Florida, Canley and Hill will be on the team all year. Canley makes too much money unless he completely drops off. Hill is only lefty. Yeah. Well, this is what we're kind of talking about right now. Is with some of the reinforcements coming back, how do they make room for these guys, and who gets moved, who gets sent down? So it'll be interesting to see because I hate to be the guy who makes that decision as far as who gets sent down, who gets moved. So but moving on though, Yankees bats, right? They got some bats coming back. So you have Anthony Rizzo, Jose Trevino coming back. You have John Birdie coming back. What do you all think the Yankees do with this logjam? Now, first thing that comes to my mind right away is when Trevino comes back, they're probably going to send Narvaez back down. All right, so it'll probably go back to the Austin Wells, Jose Trevino duo. But I do think that Austin Wells should get more of the starts. No doubt. And I know, John, you're saying you could do without Rizzo and Trevino, but I get that, but I think those guys make those guys somehow remain on the roster. Trevino especially. Um, with Rizzo, that's going to be interesting because they have Ben Rice right now who's playing first base, and he does a good job at first base. What happens with Ben Rice? What happens there? Do they keep Ben Rice? Do they send him back down? I mean, I'm just wondering, right? Like I'm asking these questions because I want to, it's more of like trying to get predictions. Obviously I'm not in the room with the Yankees, but I'd love to be a fly in the room and listen in on those conversations. Yeah, I hope they don't platoon them. Wells should be getting the majority of the starts. John Birdie to replace Torres. I mean, I don't know who else he can replace, honestly. Keep Ben Rice at first. Yeah. I'll be very annoyed if Rice does not get a shot at the playoffs. I heard that. But the thing is though, I mean, I know we've talked about how the Yankees like to, stick with the old guys. They don't like to, they stay loyal to the old guys or whatever. But Rizzo, yeah, he's not the player that he once was especially after that concussion that he had last season. It sucked, but he does provide experience. He is a mentor to some of these guys, so I'm sure he's been a mentor to guys like Aaron Judge. I know he's been a voice in Ben Rice's ear. So Wells will get more time now. Trevino will play 2 times a week. I'm okay with that. John Birdie can play third. He could play third. He could play second. Send Rice down. I like him. He will be back for sure. If DJ starts to hit, he will replace Rice. Ooh. That comment's gonna piss a lot of fans off. But he might be. But it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, Rizzo before he got hurt, he wasn't. Yeah, definitely, he wasn't playing well. And my guy TC Steels, shout out to you. What's going on, sir? How you doing, man? Well, yeah, I got to agree with Nosebleed though. If DJ does start to hit, I can see him. There's a possibility that he could replace Rice, but who does Rizzo replace? Who does John Birdie replace? I mean, these are the questions. So again, I'm glad I'm not the person who has to make these decisions. I hate to be the person to make these decisions. Karma State's big things coming from. All right. So big things coming from DJ. I want to see it, man. I want to see it. Yeah, Rice has not been hitting. No. I mean, as of right now, Rice, I think his batting average is still below 200. I'm doing well, man. I can't complain, bro. I can't complain. I'm doing well. I have no complaints. Life is good, bro. Life is good. Hopefully you and your family are doing well, man. Birdie would only replace Waldo, if any. That I could potentially see, although I hate to see it, but I do see that. Yanks will probably platoon DJ and Rizzo at first base, lefty righty. Rizzo will replace Rice, like it or not. That's what will happen. And that's kind of what I'm expecting too, man. That's what I'm expecting. I always say you never know, but I do I do expect that. My biggest pet peeve is late inning substitution of DJ at first base in place of Rice. Booney until Birdie is back substituted and DJ in the late innings at second base. Well, it's all good, man. I wouldn't I wouldn't stress that too much with DJ taking over. A lot of decisions to be made. Rice will go down if Rizzo comes back for sure. That's what I'm envisioning too. I mean, how else is Rizzo going to be on this team? Yeah, and he just started swinging a bat, so he's making his progress. What's up? Back it up, Binge. How you doing, man? Good to see you. He says, hello, all. Blame Mother Nature for that split. Yanks could have swept the series, but that dreaded doubleheader. Yeah, unfortunately, man. I mean, doubleheaders. Unfortunately, Yanks they win. They're going to win one of them. They're not going to win both, and clearly didn't happen yesterday. Yeah, DJ's too slow to play second base anymore, no doubt. Yeah, I mean Rizzo. I don't know how much better he's going to be than Rice at the plate. The defense. I mean Rizzo. To me, I still think he has good defense. Yeah, there's been a few uh, blunders, right, with him and Torres in that infield, and he's still about 3 weeks away. Yeah, yeah. So that's something we were talking about. TC Steels is you know earlier. I don't know how much of the conversation you caught, but we were talking about some of the reinforcements coming back for the bullpen, like um, Nick Birdie, Ian Hamilton, right? Cody Poteet. We talked about Clark Schmidt too. I know Clark Schmidt's not a bullpen guy, but when these guys come back, who gets moved? So may not see Rizzo until September, if at all. Yeah, I mean, depending on how he progresses. And I've heard a few people say this too, that they think that Rizzo may not even be back this year, which I mean, it sucks, man. I know it's kind of like a love hate relationship with guys like Anthony Rizzo because he had a great career. I mean, I still say he's a good player. He won't be back next season, but whatever he does in the future, I wish him well. I still like Rizzo. I still like Rizzo despite his struggles. I mean, he's just a good, he's a good player, good guy, good person to have around. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be nice to have all those fresh arms and fresh bats coming back. Definitely. I mean, they're coming back at the right time too, right? Right when we need them. At least they're not getting. At least a lot. All these injuries. You hate to see it happen. At least these injuries went down um, before August, right? I'm glad it all happened like June, July. I mean, it sucks that it all hit at the same time. That's the part that sucks. But what are you going to do? Sure. Okay, so in my earlier rant, DJ at third base, Cabrera Torres share second base with the former of the two, getting the late innings on defense. Keep Rice alone at first base. I got you. What happens when John Birdie gets back? Tyler Anderson, solid pitcher for the Angels. Yeah, I mean, one of the few bright spots, huh, for the Angels. And do we really need to win a World Series with Torres at second base? And that's not a great left, right side. Right side is okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is true. And what about Jazz Chisholm? What happens with him? And I got Erica in the back. You ready? Let's go. She's giving me the rock and roll sign. What up? How's it going?
Not too bad, man. I was trying to get my stuff done for work before I hopped on here because then I get
Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate it. Always handle your business first, handle your job. And then if you have time, you have time.
yeah. So yeah, bummer yesterday, huh? I was like, we were talking, and then I looked back, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's 1-0, and then all of a sudden it was the bases loaded, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. And then he just hits a grand slam. I'm like, well, this game's over. I get.
Yeah.
I'm like, they could score 6 runs on the Angels. Like, that's not a problem, but they just like never were able to break through. So
Yeah,
sucked.
they felt, yeah, unfortunately they hit a couple of, there was a couple of balls that were hit, but it just fell short. It was just due to the weather.
Yeah.
They came close a few times. They had some opportunities, but yeah, I know I was talking about it earlier. I'm sure you heard it, but it's like there's some folks I'm sure they're crapping on Will Warren, but I'm like, let's pump the brakes. Like the dude only pitched his second time in the majors. He's got a lot of he needs a bigger chance to develop and
yeah, for sure. Especially in a doubleheader. I mean, he probably doesn't get the same pregame routine as he usually does when you have 30 minutes in between games. Not to say he's not doing things in the dugout or whatever, but just different. So to put a guy like that second start, there's growing pains, and I mean, it's a tough situation. It's raining. It's not it's cold. It's actually cold outside. These guys are pitching in 85, 90 degree weather. Warmed up real quick. All of a sudden, it's 60 degrees, 7 o'clock in New York. They're just like, what the hell? So, I mean, I'm sure the elements. You're a Major League Baseball player. It shouldn't affect you, but that stuff messes with you a little bit. So it is what it is. Just get it back today, hopefully. Cannot lose a series to the Angels, dude. I was cracking up at the Mets fans for losing a series against the freaking Angels, and I can't have it happen.
Yeah, I mean, even teams that are bad, they're gonna go out and try to play their hardest. So it's gonna happen. I mean, they still want to try and go out there and win. And shout out to Uncle Tats of the Pinstripe Chronicles podcast. What's up, my guy? Make sure you all subscribe to the Pinstripe Chronicles podcast. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens to this, like with all these reinforcements coming back. I see folks in the chat having a conversation about who gets moved. I mean, when these guys come back, I mean, what do you envision, at least with the pitching, like what do you think? Because some of these bullpen are coming back.
To me, it's just I haven't really looked into it too much, just because it's kind of just taking it one game at a time, one day at a time. Because who knows what happened? There's setbacks. There could be injuries. Hopefully not, but there could be injuries up, in our current roster that kind of shakes things up. So I just take it day by day. But I do know for sure. Who was I saying before is going to get sent down? Cousins, Jay Cousins, is definitely odd man out. And I said Tim Hill, but I completely forgot he's the only lefty that we have there. That's why I'm saying, like, when Schmidt comes back, maybe Nestor in the bullpen, that would work. I just think he has the better stuff to come out of the bullpen. Stroman is a little bit, I don't know. I wouldn't trust him coming out of there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. To me, Canely is the one that should get DFA'd, but I think they love him too much. You know what I'm saying? They went out of their way to bring him back. I don't think that they're giving up on him that quickly. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Canely, honestly, like he has a lot of bright spots. So, I don't know. I could see him getting DFA'd, but at the same time, I know the Yankees do like him, so I can see the Yankees keeping him. I think Jake Cousins probably gets sent back down. I can see that. I do not see Michael Tonkin going anywhere. He's actually been solid.
Hey, these are the guys that are going to be riding with us in the playoffs. Clay Holmes, Hoover, Tonkin, Leiter, Hamilton when he gets back. Like, those are the obvious. And I'm going to assume De Los Santos because you went out and traded for him. I still don't really know what they're going to do. But, yeah, those are like the no doubters. So Tonkin's not going anywhere, dude. If they were to send him down, I would riot. Are you kidding me? My own personal Ned Flanders? You can't have that man's mustache.
I call him the school custodian.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens, but Canely hasn't had the best year.
Nah, it's not solid. But like I could see the Yankees moving on from Canely, but I don't know. I'd love to be a fly in the room right now with all those guys talking about, what happened, like what moves do we do, like who gets moved, who gets sent down, because man, they have a lot of reinforcements coming back, and I mean, at least it's a good problem that they have. I'm glad I'm not the one who has to make that decision because I hate to make those types of decisions, but it's good that they that they have these guys, they have the pitching that's coming back. So, because the Yankees are loaded, with a lot of arms, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'm excited. I know, isn't F. Ross already making appearances down in the minors, but he just can't get his control.
yeah, he's got his he's making his starts down there in the minors, but he is struggling mightily. So I don't know what happens with him. I don't know if he makes a comeback at all. We'll see. But I got my guy. He's set up. We got Damien in the back too, so I haven't seen this guy in a while. Ready, bro? All right. My guy.
You. What's up, Erica? What's going on, guys?
What up? What up? How are you?
What up, man?
Another beautiful day, man.
Must
heard
be nice.
that.
Yankees baseball, all that good stuff,
Yeah.
Listen, man, Will Warren, I heard you guys talking about Will.
Yeah. Go for it.
Listen, man, Will Warren, I think, is more than capable of being a starter in this league. You think about Mike King's first season, right? Mike King's first season, he had his ups and downs, went to the bullpen, worked on it, came back, obviously learned from Corey Kluber. Next thing you know, he's a stud, right? Clark Schmidt last season came in as a starter. Everybody and their mother wanted him out of the starter position. Everybody wanted him in the bullpen. Worked on it, came back. Next thing you know, everybody now just wants Clark as a starter, right? So, like Erica said, there's going to be growing pains in this, especially as a rookie coming straight from AAA into this league. The guy has great movement. He throws upper 90s, has a good slider. Listen, the kid is equipped and he can handle it as long as he keeps working on the craft. So I think he's more than capable. Again, you come into the league, first game of Phillies, welcome to the Major League Baseball. Second game, you come into a rainy day, cold weather, it's rainy, so on and so forth. So Will Warren's equipped, and there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be a part of the future. Whether it's on this team or another team, he's going to be part of the future somewhere. So,
yeah, Erica, your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I agree. Like I said, it's just kind of part of it. You got to go through ups and downs. I don't necessarily know if you want to throw him in the bullpen.
No,
I wouldn't do that. I see it in the top. But like even Luke Weaver's situation, he's a starter, right? But he's been so solid in the bullpen. I don't even know if you've ever, I don't know how much control we have of him, but I don't know if you can make that transition for him to be a starter. I think he's just so dominant right now in the bullpen, and it's going to mess with him. So it's messed with people before. So I don't think throwing him in the bullpen is the right move. Just kind of let him work through his stuff. He's not going to be a starter in the playoffs. It's just So
yeah, exactly.
With these struggles, I guess. Unfortunately, these struggles it was 6 runs of struggles. Hopefully, keep more to 3, and the Yankees can fight back. But once you go down 6-0, man, in that weather, you already played a game earlier. You're just dude, just chalk it as an L. I want to go home. At the end of the day, we understand. We're passionate about it. I'm sure they are too. But at the end of the day, it's a job for them. They're probably trying to go home to their families. They're like, yo, just get us out of this. They looked lifeless yesterday, that offense. So I was like, whatever.
If Gleyber would have hit that home run, it would have changed the entire game. I thought he got all of it. If that point would have been 6-4, they'd have been right back in the game. But once that didn't happen, kind of like Erica said, let's pack it in, guys. Let's get through this. We're just gonna go through the motions of everything and call it a day. But listen, there's a lot of upsides to this team. Like you said, Weaver should only stay. He found his niche, right? Just started forever. Weaver should stay in the bullpen. That's his niche. That's who he is at this point. And he just plays up there. Jake Cousins, another guy out of the pen, looks really good. Yeah, he gave up that big bomb yesterday, but Jake Cousins has come through. And one thing that we've been looking for is swing and miss. Jake Cousins provides that. And I think Leiter, again, that guy's a dog on the mound. I love Leiter. Great pickup by Cashman. Obviously, Jazz kind of, itched the bed yesterday. But I think the Jazz thing, he's at home and he's really trying to make his mark with the fans. I think he's just trying too hard. Once Jazz gets comfortable and, who he is, and the thing I love about Jazz is that he's with James Rowson. Jazz's best years as an offensive player were under James Rowson. So I think Jazz is again, as soon as he gets comfortable in the Bronx, Jazz is going to be who Jazz is. So all around, this team is very much on the upside, and there's no doubt in my mind that they can win the division. They just have to stay online, and the Judge thing is going to be the Judge thing. Guys have to come through like Wells, which he has. We all have our gripes about Glaber, but listen, Glaber, second half of the season, this guy is almost a 300 hitter. So yeah, he's been terrible on the infield. We all know that. But Glaber, when you look at somebody like Glaber, when you talk about playoff Glaber, listen, Glaber's been one of the best players for the Yankees in the playoffs his entire career. And right next to Giancarlo, if you look at his numbers, Glaber's numbers are better than Judge's in the playoffs. So that should tell you what Glaber brings to the table as long as Glaber's right. And right now, Glaber's looking right. Offensively, defensively, we all know what he is. He's a liability. If we can straight just make Glaber a DH, I'd love to only make Glaber a DH and just keep him out of the field. But, it is what it is. And, up and down the order, everybody's producing. Anthony Volpe looks like a brand new Anthony Volpe. Looks like the guy that we seen at the very beginning of the season. Leave him down there. Don't move him. He belongs there. He's comfortable. The pressure's off of him, and he's producing. And then, of course, with that being said, you have Jazz and Volpe at the bottom of the lineup with speed. And we've seen what that did the other day with the manufacturing of runs, double stealing. Next thing you know, grand ball gets Jazz in. And you got Volpe with the fly ball, gets him in. So that bottom of the lineup with speed, that's only going to produce for people like Judge, for people like Soto, so on and so forth. So leave those guys where they're at. That's the winning formula. Boom, just keep it simple.
100%. All right, Damien, just spinning it all out. I love it.
It's been a while, man. It's been a minute. So
yeah, I know, man. I know you've been busy, and I know you've been kind of doing your thing, right? I get it, bro. It's all good. You do what you got to do, bro. But no, I always love having you on. So, it's great to have you on. But the whole Will Warren thing, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not gonna crap on Will Warren yet. Like, no. There's no reason to do that. The dude only had 2 starts, and he's not gonna be your ace. He's not gonna be an ace. He's at best, he's like your number 3, number 4. He needs time. Let him continue developing. You still, if you're trying to judge him, you gotta give him like a full season, maybe 2 years, right? To be like, okay, you know what, this dude is legitimate, or you know what, he's not the answer.
Yeah.
Remember what they did with Volpe last season. Everybody was crapping on him. Like, this guy is a wash. He's a fluke. He's not the guy. Send him back down. After, when he got the winning job, everybody was like on board with it, and when he didn't perform well his rookie season, and of course, like, that team was horrid.
Yeah.
Everybody was ready to write him off, and I'm like, well, let's see what he does in the second season. I think he's got potential. Let him play, and you know what? He's looked good this season.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fantastic. So I think you need to do the same thing with Will Warren when he gets a shot. So I'm not going to judge the guy after 2 starts. He needs to work on his control. He needs to work on his pitches. So that's, as we all know, that all takes time, right? So, but the Yankees overall, like you said, man, I feel good about this team. That the lineups are looking a lot more attractive than where they were 3 weeks ago. So, you're not seeing the Jahmai Jones and the freaking JD Davis, who JD Davis the Orioles, by the way.
Thank God. Did he go to the Orioals? Thank you, Orioles. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but watch. Now he's going to start killing it with them.
Man, I don't think that guy's going to kill it with anybody, but maybe the Rail Riders or the Swashmoon Cuyahogas from Wyoming. Who knows? But I want to get you guys' thoughts. I think this kid I'm going to talk about right now, Narvaez. I think Narvaez is somebody who's more than capable. And, I love Trevi. Trevi's Trevi. But Narvaez, to me, has a presence about him. Mm-hmm. Not only at the plate, but behind the dish. Obviously, he's got an arm. He's great defensively. To me, he's an upgrade. He's a Trevi, but with offense. Oh, Sarge, you're a pretty bastard. I love you, man. But Narvaez, I think, is somebody that the Yankees should hold on to. I think if if they're looking for a backup catcher, somebody who has potential to be a starter, it's Carlos Narvaez. At the dish, he's great defensively. No, doesn't lack as far as when you compare him to Trevi. Offensively, I think he's just a better player than Trevi. The Yankees are not, obviously, I don't think they're going to choose him over Trevi come this season. But next season, no doubt in my mind, Carlos Narvaez should stay. He should be there to stay. He should back up home. Back up our guy. Gosh, Austin Wells.
I got you.
Yeah, you got me. And he should back him up. I think the kid has a lot of potential. People slept on him solely because of what Augustine Ramirez brought to the table. But this kid played just as well in AAA as Augustine. And I think he's definitely a backup catcher, if not a starter for this team. But you got Wells, so Wells is obviously going to take the bulk of it. But Narvaez is somebody everybody should keep an eye on, not only for this team, but in the trade in the offseason, because we might get something good back for him as well. So you never know.
For sure. Erica?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I also I like Trevi. Don't get me wrong.
So do I.
But I also feel like him being there creates more difficulty when it comes to putting out a lineup. Like, they overthink it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you have a Narvaez, he is a backup. Like, that's what he is. Whereas Trevino, it's like, well, he's kind of a starter, but Austin Wells, the proof is in the pudding, man. Austin Wells, since he's been able to get consistent at-bats, I mean, he's our cleanup hitter for a reason, and it's working wonders. You know what I'm saying? So when Trevi comes back, you're going to have them being like, well, we have to slot him in three games in a week. Maybe, not 4, but we have to slot him in. We have to find a spot for him. Whereas if you have Narvaez, it's like, all right, like he could start every 4th game or, a day game after a night game. And you're just not overthinking it as much. I think that you can get not a lot, but you could get something solid in return for Trevi next season, like you said. But yeah, so far so good. He's only had like 10, I don't know, he's only played a couple of games, but he has a hit, I think, in every game that he's played. So,
he's sitting over 300 right now. OPS like almost 800. But again, that's like 15 at bats. But you could just tell the kid he looks good to me. I don't know.
As long as our pitchers are comfortable throwing to him, I think that's all that matters, because that's really what Trevi brings to the table.
It does.
Is his play calling. So again, I just think not having Trevino in on the card, just being like not having to force yourself to put him in a game just because technically he is a starter, when honestly Austin Wells is doing phenomenal. So
and after nothing, I mean, God forgive me, blessing in disguise, the injury for Trevi, right? If that doesn't happen, we don't know. We don't see Wells bloom right in front of our eyes. It's going to be the same. Wells never got, it was weird because I looked at it, I'm like, man, they actually split the games 50-50. And I'm like, it should have never happened that way. Yeah, I get the beginning of the season. You want to get Wells' feet wet, so on and so forth. But Trevi was a backup catcher coming into this. Trevi was signed with the Yankees to be a backup catcher. And then obviously he took the role and put a strong arm on it. But at the end of the day, apples to oranges, Wells is better offensively, just as good as defensively, and he's got a better arm. So Yankees, please, I beg of you, don't make the silly. I know loyalty is everything to the Yankees. They're very loyal to their players, but we're looking to win, and this is winning baseball. And you can't mix business with pleasure, so to speak. So they got to keep Wells where he's at.
Yeah, and Wells just makes the lineup better. But I see D-Rod saying, like, if Narvaez is a backup, wouldn't Trevino be a better backup now? Yeah, I agree. Trevino would technically be the better backup, but the way that this front office works is that they will force him into more games than he needs to be in. So
I agree.
You're going to ruin Austin Wells again.
And honestly, I don't know that Trevi is a better backup than Narvaez, to be honest with you. I think offensively Narvaez is better. He's younger. He's faster. He's got a better arm, as we saw yesterday. And the metrics, he frames pitches just as good. So honestly, I don't know that Trevi is a better backup than Narvaez. I think Narvaez honestly is a better backup than Trevi. If we're really, looking deep diving into the numbers, which I did. So no, Trevi's going to get his run because he's Trevi, and Trevi's going to get his run because the Yankees are loyal. But if we're looking and honestly being honest with ourselves, and the Yankees are being honest with themselves, the better backup is Narvaez. And Narvaez, if Trevi came in as a new player and Narvaez came in as a new player, and they said, all right, you guys are going to fight this out and to get this position, Narvaez is the clear cut.
Yeah, I'm in agreement about Narvaez. Like I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's the perfect backup guy, no doubt.
Yeah.
I think he's the perfect backup guy to Austin Wells. I think he will be that guy come next season.
Oh yeah.
Come next season, no doubt in my mind. That's what should happen. That's what should happen. But I do see Trevino when he gets back. I do see Narvaez getting sent back down. If we're being brutally honest, right?
I agree.
Is Narvaez defensively? He's great. As a hitter, I'm told that he's good offensively. Maybe he's not as good as like Austin Wells, but he could still hit. Yeah. But I think he'd be the perfect number 2 come next season. There is a lot of potential for him. We haven't seen too much of him at the major league level, right? But we'll see what he brings to the table. But I think he does bring something to the table. But I don't think that he will be that guy this season when Trevino gets back. But when Trevino gets back, Austin Wells should absolutely be getting the majority of the playing time. But like D-Rod was saying, just play Trevino twice a week, which I'd be okay with because Wells is that threat right now. He is that threat after Aaron Judge. Finally, there's a threat after Aaron Judge, and Austin Wells is that guy. He could hit. And I don't necessarily want him hitting home runs. I want him just getting on base, and he does a really good job of that. So Austin Wells is, he's a bright spot. He's a bright spot in that lineup. And I think Narvaez will be, a perfect backup catcher to him come next season. So, I'm not going to look into 2025 yet, but it's going to be interesting to see what this roster is going to look like in 2025 because I feel like we're going to see some new faces on this team. And it's going to come. A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them especially within the system. Yeah. So, do I like Narvaez? I do like Narvaez. We haven't seen him play too much, but I liked what I saw from him, in the minors. And it's just like, yeah, I agree, D-Rod. He'll be back next year. I think he'll be back up. They'll move on from Trevino, and I like Trevino. It's not that I dislike Trevino, but he's just, if you're thinking about the future, you got to think about the future, and it's gonna be. I feel like that's gonna be. Austin Wells and Narvaez. I think that's going to be our 2 catchers. And what up, Desiree? I see you. Getting some work at the dentist. All right, good luck to you. I hate dentists.
I hate the dentist.
Yeah.
Can't say I love it. Can't say I love it. I can't say I love it.
You can't. I was like, whoa, all right. Yeah.
No. Cool. I may be twisted, but not that twisted. Jesus.
Yeah. I already know I'm twisted, so that's a given.
Anybody that likes to get punched in the face, a little twisted, right? But it's okay. So, man.
I actually wonder what
it's still intact, so I'm good.
I'm wondering
go ahead.
How the starters have done ever since Wells has taken on the role full time because they hit that rough patch and they've been turning it around, taking a step in the right direction. Obviously, there's a few rough patches here and there, but I'm just curious. That could be coincidence. You know what I mean? Maybe they just figured it out at the same time as Wells getting everyday catching. Yeah, I don't.
No, I was gonna say because when Rodon was pitching to Wells last year when he was making his rehab starts, I mean he complimented Wells. I mean, it sounds like Wells has a very good relationship with the pitchers, and there's a good chemistry there. And I feel like, and you see that on the mound. I feel like there's a good connection there with him and the starting rotation. So, I mean, he's caught for Garrett Cole a couple of times, and I feel like he did a really good job with Garrett Cole. And I know with Rodon, him and Rodon click. So I think Austin Wells, I think he's that guy that, he does a really good job with the starting pitching so What are your
Cole is the ultimate stamp of approval, right? You get the
Right.
stamp of approval from Cole, then it doesn't matter what Stroman thinks, doesn't matter what Rodon thinks, doesn't matter what anybody thinks, because you got the stamp of approval from your ace. Even though, Rodon, since day one, he's pitched to Wells. And anytime, if anybody notices, anytime he doesn't pitch to Wells, his game is completely off. He ends up getting smacked around, so to speak. Stroman needs a few starts off. I think we all can agree to that. He's got to start working on some stuff, getting back to the basics. I kind of mentioned it, a couple weeks ago. He started trying to become a strikeout pitcher. That's not his game. Stroh needs to be who Stroh is, live on the edges, make guys chase and, digging into the ground balls. That's who Stroh is. Now, mind you, I think Stroh's going to be okay. Stroh's a gamer. And I think he's a little fatigued at this point. Give him a few starts off, Stroh will be okay. And the rest of the pitching staff is okay at this point. That's all we can say. It's okay. Nestor, I think at this point, Nestor does belong in the pen. Once Schmidt gets back, Schmidt has an opportunity to get at least 4 or 5 starts before the playoffs. So that gives him an opportunity to build up. And if you have to piggyback him in the playoffs, so be it. But the starting rotation is in good shape, so to speak. They kind of got, Stroh is the biggest question mark to me at this point. But I think it's fatigue with Stroh. You can tell he's lost mileage. He's not hurt. I mean, listen, if he's hurt, he's not going to be up there. Point blank, period. He's not hurt. I've seen people say, well, maybe he's hurt. He's not hurt. If he was hurt, he would not be getting starts.
I just think he's fatigued.
He's
personally.
Fatigued to me.
Yeah.
To me, he's fatigued. And you give him, the All-Star break, for a pitcher, an All-Star break is nothing. You basically just maybe miss a start. That's nothing. So I think he needs miss a few couple starts, work on his thing, throw a few bullpens and get back on his game, which I think Stroh will do. He's a gamer again, and as long as he's healthy, he's going to pitch for you and he's going to give you all he's got. I don't know. I know people are down on him right now, rightfully so. He's given up a lot lately. But again, to me, it's all a matter of fatigue. Whenever you drop, mind you, 91 to 89 doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot. Even 1 mile an hour is a lot. So that 2 miles an hour, that plays a big role for him. He needs to get that back, and I think it's just a matter of fatigue for him.
Yeah, no doubt. But you might have already said it. I wanted to ask this question, but with all these reinforcements coming back on the pitching side, right? Nick Birdie, Ian Hamilton, Clark Schmidt. Who else is? I feel like there's somebody else. Scott. There's also Scott Efros.
Nope, don't want him. Leave his ass there. Leave Scott in AAA. I don't need that in our lives. We're better off staying with Cousins at that point, and he's getting rocked. Not the same pitcher with the back issues. Not the same pitcher with the Tommy John. He's going to be a guy that he's going to need that full 2 years to recover. He really is.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you though, like when these guys come back, besides Efros, we'll leave them out. But the other guys, like who do you think gets moved or sent back down? Like what do you got, man?
I mean, Hamilton is obviously a fixture in the rotation as far as the bullpen goes. So yeah. Hamilton's coming. You got obviously Schmidt coming, which I think at that point you need a lefty. You move Nestor into that role because Nestor's not going to be a starter in the playoffs, right? So utilize him the way you need to utilize him. Maybe piggyback him off of Schmidt. Because Schmidt's come into the playoffs, he may not be all the way built up. Give Schmitty 5 innings, bring Nestor in for 2. That covers you through 7. Figure out 8 or 9. So I think that's where Nestor, and that, mind you, Nestor the other day threw up to 95. What's up, Nathan?
What up, Nathan?
He got up to 95. So Nestor, and got up to 95, and you throw him in the pen, that's going to play. You might even see 96 out of him. Who knows? So I can see Nestor in the pen come the playoffs. You got Birdie coming back, the pitcher Birdie.
Yeah.
Again, guy's got a live arm, can give you swing and miss. A little wild, as we've seen. But again, a big question mark is he has an issue staying healthy. That's been his MO his entire career. So that's a question mark to me. And, John Birdie coming back. Where do you put John Birdie? DJ LeMahieu. So it's coming.
Well, So we'll talk about the bats next.
Yeah, man.
As far as the pitching, though, with these guys coming back, who out of this bullpen gets moved?
Currently, I mean, man, it's tough to say because, like I said, you got Jay Cousins, who's really proved himself to me. Jay Cousins has been a guy come out the pen. He's got nasty stuff. That slider plays, and that's for real. Yeah, he got shellacked yesterday, but that's one game. It's gonna happen. But the guy has been legit. I don't see how you move Birdie out the way. I mean, I don't see how you move Cousins out the way. I mean, honestly, if you're looking between Birdie and Cousins, I'm taking Cousins only because Cousins has more control, and he's been more reliable than Birdie at this point. Because Birdie's been wild. If you guys remember, Birdie doesn't have control. He's come into these games and he's been every which way. He was great the first couple of outings, and then he came out 5-6 appearances, and he completely itched the bed. So, I'm taking Cousins over Birdie. I'm keeping Birdie down there, and I'm taking Cousins. Okay. I know some might disagree, but if you look at the body of work you look at their games side by side, numbers, stuff. Cousins to me is the one that stays. Birdie stays down in AAA to me.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if Cousins gets moved. Like I'm that's just me.
I'm not surprised either.
Knowing the Yankees, right? Knowing the Yankees, some of the things that they do, I wouldn't be surprised. But I like what I'm seeing from him so far, no doubt. I mean, he's good. I do not see Tonkin getting moved. He's been a bright spot out.
He's earned it. He's
definitely earned it. He's definitely earned it. And shout out to Matt Blake for doing an awesome job with him. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But when Clark Schmidt gets back, I know he said he wants to get back into the rotation. He is open to coming out of the bullpen just to get himself going. But I think once he comes back out, once he makes his way back into the rotation, which it's funny that we're having this conversation again.
Yeah.
Because we were having this conversation a few months ago. It was just like, okay, what happens when Garrett Cole gets back? Now it's what happens when Schmidt gets back. I think just moving Nestor back to the bullpen, and that was something that a lot of us we talked about. But I know some folks disagreed, which is fine. But I think right now, I think it makes the most sense to get Nestor out of there. But I wanted to get both of your thoughts on that. So
go ahead, Erica.
Well, I mean, I already said Nestor is going to be the guy that goes to the bullpen. I mean, I think you just got to take it day by day, dude. Anything can happen that can change the answer to this question. Like something can happen in the game, and it's like, oh, well, now there's a slot for Birdie because this guy went down. So I'm just taking it day by day. Like honestly, like what Damian said, man. At this point, those guys have to play themselves into this roster. It looks like we're kind of set right now, whether we like it or not. I know that not a lot of us like Holmes closing. I think it should be, I mean, I think it should just be based on the day. Like he doesn't need to be the closer every time. You know what I mean? Like
closing by committee.
Agreed.
Like,
absolutely.
Has proven that he could close out games. I think Leiter has the stuff to close out games. When Ian Hamilton, I would keep in the setup role because he did look shaky actually. And then Holmes looked great yesterday. Granted, it's a lineup, but he had his stuff working yesterday. So it's just like you said, closer by committee, just kind of based on that day, who's coming up, or like what are the next three batters in the ninth inning. I don't know. You got to play it by ear. But the Yankees don't love doing that. This is my guy. This is my closer. He's going to be there in the ninth inning. I'm going to back him up no matter what. All right, back him up by making some freaking defensive plays. So, but it's again day by day. Let's just see.
Yeah. And I don't know if the Leiter trade put a fire on the Holmes ass, but ever since the Leiter trade, Holmes has looked like the closer that we saw at the beginning of the season.
Well, I think he likes the fact that he has like people behind him, or in front of him that can pitch, But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
No. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Preach, brother. Let's see the gospel. Come on.
No, I was gonna say with Clay Holmes, like, listen, do I get nervous when he comes into some of these games? Yeah, definitely.
Every time.
I'm not going to necessarily blame
Not
all
some.
Every
Oh,
I feel like I have a
All of it.
I say some. I say some, but that's me. But
yeah.
because the all the saves, there's been a couple of saves. It falls on him, no doubt.
Yeah.
But there's other saves. I'm not going to completely put the blame on him. I'll put part of the blame on him because the infield, especially the infield, they have a job to do, right?
Yeah.
There were like 4 or 5 of those games where the defense did not come through, and it was frustrating. And he could be. People say he should. Your closer should be a strikeout guy. Yes and no, but it's like if he's a ground out guy, if the opposing team is grounding out, the defense has to make that play, man. I don't want to keep going back to the past, but it's like that game against the Orioles. Volpe bobbled that ball, man. It was just like, like if you made that play, the game would have been over. They would have swept the Orioles. Or that ball that went over freaking Verdugo's head. I'm like, come on, man. Like that can't happen.
Yeah,
so,
no. I agree with
like,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, was Holmes responsible for getting those guys, walking those guys? Absolutely. It's like, that can't be happening. But the other guys have a job to do as well. So
to me, with that game specifically,
yeah,
I get what you're saying, right? Defense has got to step up. But to me, I'm also thinking to myself, how did we get to that point? How did we get there, right? And it's because of our closer. If he's doing what he needs to do, the defense is never in that predicament in the first place. Now, does the defense need to step up? 1,000%. Doogie, how do you misplay a ball like that? Volpe, that's about as a routine ground ball as it gets. However, if you don't put that pressure on them from the very beginning by walking the village, then we're never in that situation in the first place. So as much as the blame is on the defense, how do we get there? We got there because of the closer. So
it's a two-way street.
It is. It's a double-edged sword on that situation. You know what I mean? It really is.
So yeah, that's why I don't. Again, there's some games I'm like, Holmes, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. But then there's other games where I'm just like, defense. You know what? It's like, yes, I do it. People need to understand this guy is not going to be Mo. No closer is ever
nobody
the caliber of Mo. So fans need to get over that.
Yeah.
So look, I still like Holmes. I mean, yes, he has his moments, no doubt. I mean, I hope he doesn't have these moments come postseason time. I hope he's lights out in the postseason.
Yeah.
We'll see, right? But I still say he's a good closer. I mean, considering the fact that this guy came to the Yankees as a 5-point-something ERA, and I know a lot of us, we were just like, who the hell is this guy? And he's been pretty lights out.
I think Holmes is a good pitcher. I think he's a great reliever.
Yeah.
I just don't think he fits the closer role. To me, you can be a great pitcher and not be a closer, right?
True. Yes.
You know what I mean? I think Holmes is best suited 7th, 8th inning, setting somebody up. Honestly, again, the hit and miss is a huge thing. It really is, because you're taking away the pressure off of everybody that's behind you. And I've seen it way too much. I mean, at the end of the day, he leads the league, MLB period, in blown saves.
For sure.
That counts for something, right? So, and again, I don't take anything away from Holmes. From where he came from with the Pirates to where he is now, leaps and bounds better. But I just don't think he's suited for that role. And I think the Yankees have him in that role because who else are they going to put there, right? They never, it's kind of like left field, right? We had a hole in left field for years. And we had no other choice but to put certain players in left field because Cashman didn't do what he was supposed to do and get a left fielder. Yeah. Same thing in the offseason. Holmes is in the situation he's in, not because in a sense he earned it, but because Cashman didn't go out and get it. And if Cashman would have went out and got a closer, which there were plenty of people to get, especially in the offseason, you could have made that trade for Tanner Scott before that happened, before even the trade deadline. You could have gone out and done a lot of different things to bring in a closer, but you didn't. You left that stone unturned. And so that's why we have Holmes right now. If the Yankees, and I'll tell you this, we'll know Holmes' worth at the end of the season. We'll see what people in MLB thinks at the end of the season. He's a free agent. Is he going to get closer money, or is he going to get set up money? We're about to find out who he really is and what other teams think about him.
Let me give my quick. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think he's going to get closer money. Someone will pay him that because he's been. I don't know. They're just so far and few in between, and I mean, look at Kimbrel. Like all these guys getting all these crazy. They're not even. And they're not even. But to me, Clay Holmes, he can be the closer for this. He could be he is going to be the closer. He will, for this season. My issue is that he just leaves so much over the plate. Like this is the first year where we're just seeing him leave those breaking balls over the plate, and they're getting crushed. He almost gave up the game against the Phillies.
Oh my God, yes, he almost gave up the game against the Blue Jays when what's his name, Pudgy Wudgy down, the guy, the catcher, Lord, yes, yeah. I thought it was a grand slam. I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go again. I mean, he just missed it. Same thing. So yeah.
He needs to figure that out, though. He needs
to. Like my thoughts on Holmes, real quick. Like I know he's going to be a free agent. I don't know what his contract is going to look like. Are the Yankees going to bring him back? I mean, these are all good questions. I don't know. I don't think he should get paid Josh Hader type money because that's ridiculous. There's no way in hell. I wouldn't offer him more than honestly like 13 or 14 million per year.
And honestly, I think that's too high even at that, to be honest with you.
But that's what it's probably
and that's what it's going to come down to. I agree with you. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Do the Yankees make that move? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's the that's the question. Like what kind of if it was up to me, I would I'd give him 12. But I think it's going to take 13 or 14. I would not be surprised if this guy tries to ask for more because of what guys like freaking Josh Hader's getting paid, which is ridiculous, by the way, for a closer.
Yeah, crazy.
But your thing with Tanner Scott, listen, I like Tanner Scott. Would I have been happy if the Yankees went after him? Absolutely. But you saw what
not to give up the package. No, that's why I said the offseason. The trade deadline, absolutely not.
But imagine what they would have asked though in the offseason though. They could have asked for something even bigger. Maybe it would have still included some of the big names, and I wasn't willing to do that for a 1-year rental.
Yeah.
Now you might ask for Juan Soto, but this is Juan Soto. This is Juan Soto's. The Yankees need that was an absolute need for the Yankees.
That's a get, absolutely.
Yeah. But Tanner Scott wasn't like that guy, right? He wasn't that guy. Maybe the Yankees explore him in the offseason. Who knows? But there was no way I was going to, even in the offseason, I wasn't going to give up a package like that for another 1-year rental. And I think they still, for Juan Soto, it's like they got to steal, but that's because the Padres were in a freaking jam.
Well, the reason I said the offseason, because teams didn't know how desperate other teams were going to be at that point, right? If you look at the Luis Ariz package, if that would have happened during the trade deadline, it would have been a king's ransom for Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
The package that the package that the Padres gave up to the Marlins for Luis Ariz would have never come close to what it would have been at the trade deadline. It would have been worse than what they did for Tanner Scott, to be honest with you. So I think that's why I said the offseason, because at that point, you couldn't bend any team over because there was no market at that point. No one knew what their teams were going to be at that point, other than the Marlins. The Marlins, from the very beginning of the season, you knew they were going to be a trash can of a team. They knew they were going to. I mean, they waved the white flag. What was it, a month into the season? They said, "All right, we're off for sale." Next thing you know, Luis Ariz got traded. So that's why I said the offseason, because nobody knew what teams were going to be in it. No one knew the chaos. No one knew what it was going to be like come the trade deadline. And then once the trade deadline came, you saw the buyers, you saw the sellers, you see who was desperate, you saw who wasn't. And that's why they took full advantage, like the Rays did, of teams. Jesus Christ, the Rays in 3 years are going to be a pain in my ass, right, so to speak. So
yeah.
So and listen, shout out to the Rays, because that's how they've become, and they've stayed consistent through all these years. by doing what they just did, and they took full advantage of the entire market. So yeah, I think the offseason was the time to do it.
For sure. No doubt. I just feel like with the whole Tanner Scott thing, because we'll talk about the bats coming back, but real quick on the Tanner Scott thing,
Yeah.
I feel like they still would have asked for more in the offseason, man. I really do. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so because he's a good pick because he's a good pitcher, and the Yankees definitely have the prospects, but they would have asked for the best of the best from the Yankees, and I don't know that the Yankees were going to do that. I mean, you saw again, and during the trade deadline, I mean, they freaking robbed the Padres. I mean, I'm just like, okay, Padres, I guess you just don't care, but all right.
No, listen, shout out to AJ Preller. The dude goes for it.
He does go for it.
AJ Preller goes for it. He puts his blank on the table and says, "Here we go." Right. So, shout out to it. It hasn't worked, right?
Yeah.
But no one's ever gonna say AJ Preller doesn't go for it. No one's ever gonna say the guy's scared. The guy goes for it, whether it's going to work out or not. And, you see the team he has currently right now. That bullpen is nasty.
100%.
Offensively, they're so-so. They have an opportunity to make the playoffs, and that's all you can ask for from a small market team like the Padres. So, again, shout out to AJ Preller. The guy goes for it. He's not scared. And, no matter what anybody thinks, the moves he's made are to only better his team. And when you look at them, and when you look at the team on paper, when he makes these moves, you're like, damn, this team is a World Series contender on paper. For whatever reason, they don't break through, and they don't play up to their potential. But man, not any fault of AJ Preller. He goes for it.
Absolutely.
I mean, they go all in with the trades, but then you got teams like the Mets and the Dodgers and the Yankees with these high freaking payrolls, and they're not getting it done either. You got the Diamondbacks, teams like the Diamondbacks. I mean, the Rangers kind of went all in. They got their championship, but that national, like, if you really look back, it hasn't been the teams that you expect to win at all. So
no, it hasn't been the teams that spent all the money. It really hasn't. Yeah, except for the Rangers. The Rangers were the only one. But other than that, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then, so moving on to the bats that are coming back, because you got John Birdie. We already talked about Trevino, right? But John Birdie and Anthony Rizzo, right? These are two guys that are coming back. What happens? I mean, the Yankees are in a little bit of a jam, right? Is there a possibility you could see that either one of you could see Ben Rice getting moved down for Anthony Rizzo? Can you all envision that? Because I do.
I can. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, we think about like the spark that he brought the Yankees, but if you actually look at his stat line, it's not all that. So they'll easily replace him with a Rizzo, especially going into the playoffs, veteran presence. The team loves him, So yeah, and that's Judge's boy. Sorry, so.
Yeah,
it's true.
That is his boy.
Not what you know, it's who you know, right? So, you know what I mean?
All we can hope is that Rizzo gets back a little bit of what he was before the injury last season. He had little glimpses of it this season, but it just never happened, never took off. So, but yeah, Ben Rice, it was nice knowing you, buddy.
Yeah, that guy. I mean. Ben Rice right now, like, I'm not again. He's a rookie, so I'm not gonna. I know his batting average is not great, but I mean, it's like that's like the easy choice right there for the Yankees when Rizzo gets back is to send him back down.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get his opportunity. I think he will.
Yeah.
He'll say he will. But then it's like you also have John Birdie, right? And so, here we go again with the infield logjam. Like, what happens? It's like. They're not going to move DJ, right? They're not going to move DJ.
DJ's getting hot right now.
Yeah, and he's been a little bit hot right now.
DJ's getting hot. He changed his batting stance. You could tell he changed it. He's not so upright, and he's got himself more in position to hit. And I think that's to catch up to the fastball. If you look at it side by side from when he first came back to where he's at now, it's not drastically different, but it is different. And he changed it to where he can get to that fastball faster. He's more ready to hit, so to speak, than what he was before. And listen, if we can get DJ the second half, I'm not going to turn that away. I'm not. Listen, as bad as he's been since he came back, I'll take that version of DJ LeMahieu, not just because of his bat, because of the veteran, like Erica said, the veteran presence, what he brings on the field as far as his glove. So, and listen, you see what the guys on the team, they rally around him. That's huge. So I don't mind DJ being in the lineup as long as he's the DJ we've come to see the last couple weeks. Grand slam, walk off. Yesterday was impressive. The fastball that he hit, let her high, a little higher. That was impressive. Like that's DJ we know. So if that's going to be the version of DJ LeMahieu we're going to get, I don't mind moving Ben Rice for that, right? Anthony Rizzo, I seen him batting practice against. He was there with Clark Schmidt during Schmidt's bullpen. Yep. Rizzo's situation is different because it was his arm, right? He broke his arm. So as a hitter, what kind of pop is that going to take away from you? What kind of speed is that going to take away from your bat? So I don't know if Rizzo ever actually makes it back to the field, to be honest with you. I don't know that he does. If he does, Yankees got to make the right decision. And again, I get Judgy, I get he's your boy, but we're trying to win a chip. So
yeah,
you want to keep him on the bench as leadership, as he's done, by all means. Defensive replacement, by all means. But I can't see Rizzo bouncing back to all-star form. I don't see it.
Yeah, you got to put that's the thing. You got to put your personal feelings to the side. And, it's a business after all. If you're trying to go all in and trying to win a championship, Judge has to accept it. You know what I mean? He's got to accept those types of decisions. And he is the captain. So, he has to understand that. Look, guys like DJ and Rizzo, they're not going to be the players that they once were. It's just the reality of it. Age catches up with athletes, even with the best of them.
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is. It just catches up with all of them. But if DJ could hit the way he has been as of late, great. I would love to see it. I don't think he's going to be the guy that he once was, but if he can come through like the way he has been, I'll take that DJ LeMahieu, that version of DJ LeMahieu all day. Rizzo. We'll see if he gets back. Some folks think he'll probably not be back at all. Which
I think that.
Yeah, for sure. And if that's the case, I understand. I get it. But you still have Ben Rice.
And Birdie has a place on this team.
Oh, John Birdie 100% has a place
on this team, whether it's off the bench running or more importantly, a defensive replacement for Gleyber Torres. So at the very least, he's a defensive replacement. 7th inning and on, bring in Birdie. Get Gleyber out of the game because we cannot afford a routine ground ball in the bottom of the ninth, top of ninth, whatever it is, for Gleyber to boot it and we lose the game or tie the game. We can't afford it. So at the very least, he has that spot.
Yeah, for sure. But when Birdie gets back, though, who gets the axe? That's It seems like the easy answer to that one, and I hate to say it, and I hope it's not the case, is Oswaldo Cabrera. I don't want to say that, but I just feel like that's like the move. Unless if they DFA Torres, which I don't see happening. No, Torres is going to be a Yankee until the season's done, and I've been saying that, and it still remains, and it's still true till this day.
He's going nowhere.
He's not. Well, he'll be in a different uniform next season, but
he will. He will.
Yeah, but this season he's a Yankee. But
what's that, Erica?
No, I was gonna say I do agree that I hate that it would be Cabrera, but if you're looking at it in a playoff situation, Cabrera's not gonna come in for defensive, for defense. In late inning, they're not gonna put him in there. John Birdie's gonna be the better option for that, and Cabrera's not gonna be a starter at any point in the playoffs, granted, unless there's an injury. So it's technically Birdie does have the better option. And then Cabrera's there to be an all-around utility guy, but then you got Jazz Chisholm that can do that now. So, it actually would be Cabrera. I'm sorry, it's
No, yeah.
No, you're
I didn't
good.
think
You're
about
good.
it. I didn't think about it till you said it, and you're right. You're absolutely 1,000% on that.
Because I was
Yeah.
saying, no, you keep him because he could play the outfield. God forbid there's some kind of injury. But it's like, no, that's Jazz Chisholm's spot. And then now you can put Birdie at third. So,
Right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then, damn. Interesting.
Yep.
And then
So,
Yeah,
real
you
quick,
slide Birdie to third. You bring Chisholm, rightfully so, where he's naturally a second baseman. So yeah.
yep,
that sucks.
that's what I'm saying. So they have a jam. They have so many. They have such a jam. I do like Cabrera too. I really do.
I couldn't stand him. But then
I love his energy. I love what he's done lately offensively. I mean, people say what they want to say about Ozzy, but Ozzy lately has come through. He's been there. He has. He really has. Anytime he's got an opportunity, he's made the most of it. So
Yeah.
But
And I got actually real quick. I got Nathan waiting in the back. You ready to go, bro? All right, he's good. And I'll put out the link to the open panel here momentarily. So
what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna switch out with Nathan. Nathan, my brother. Good
Yo,
seeing you, my man.
Hey, Erica. How you doing?
I wish I could spend more time with you guys, Erica, Nathan, and Afi. Thank you again. You always know. Anytime I can hop on, I will. It was great being seeing with you guys again. So hit me up anytime you want, brother.
Yeah. Well, Damien,
you're the best.
Real quick, I was gonna say, like I tell Erica too, dude. Anytime you want to jump on, you got my number. So
I got you. I'll hit you up, brother.
Hit me up, dude.
I'll hit you up.
Come on down.
I'll hit you up. Hey guys, have a great day out there. I'll see y'all later. All right.
See you later, Mr. Fly Guy himself. See you later, Damien. But Nathan, what's up, man?
Hey, so our team is currently working on bringing more people for you at NFE, so stay tuned.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. There's one name in particular. I'm not going to announce who it is.
Don't say anything. Yeah.
Nah. We're leaving it all a surprise. But there's one name that I really want, but we'll see.
Eric Jeter. That's it.
I know if Nathan was to get Derek Jeter, Eric would be like, "Hey, can I come on with you? I want to talk to him."
I don't know how I would die happy.
But so my team is working on getting more people for you. So stay tuned there. Whoever's in the chat, I know it's been a while since a guest has been on here, but we're making it work. So just the timing and day, and that's pretty much it. And Erica, how you been?
I'm good, man. Thank you for asking. I know every time that you guys have something at the Woodbridge room, I'm like, yeah, I could maybe make it if something comes up. So 10 minutes, I'm 10 minutes away. Literally, I get so pissed at myself. But I'll make it there at one point.
Yeah, there you go. Come on. We actually real quick, August 24th, Clay Holmes is coming to Woodbridge Brewing Company, Clay Holmes. So whoever, get your tickets now if you want to meet the Yankees closer, Clay Holmes. So
there you go. Yeah, Nathan and his team, man, they do a great job of doing these meet and greets with current athletes, former athletes. He helps out all his content creators getting interviewing these whether it be former baseball players or current. So Nathan and his team, man, they do an amazing job. So shout out to you and your team, man. You guys seems like you all are just working 24/7. So so shout out to you guys. But Nathan, I wanted to get your thoughts, man. Like, what happens with all these players that are coming back, right? Some of the reinforcements, right? So like Nick Birdie, Ian Hamilton, Clark Schmidt, Cody Poteet, like all these guys on the pitching side. Like, who gets moved, man? Like, what are you thinking?
It's a great problem to have for the Yankees, especially for a championship team. You need all the depth that you need come playoff time. And Damien I was listening in on this when Damien was on here, and he said they're all the right things. But what's it called? It's interesting because GJ is starting to heat up now, and you don't want to take out his bat out of the lineup. And when John Birdie comes back, and now you have Oswald Cabrera still producing when he's in the lineup, and you got a lot of people producing in the lineup. But when it comes to the pitching, the bullpen. I love Jay Cousins, and I agree with Damien. Shout out to Matt Blake. He fixed him up once he got traded to from Milwaukee to come here, and he fixed him up big time. And I mean, Nick Birdie we got to see how he is when he coming back from that injury, and he's been pitching a little decent in Scranton during his rehab, but It's gonna be interesting to see when he comes back. But I mean, Clark Smith, Nestor Cortez. I have a feeling he might be the odd man out when Clark Smith comes back.
Mhm.
I don't know what to do with Cody Petit. I don't know what we do with Cody Petit, but that's still up in the air. But I feel like Clark Smith is the biggest key. You definitely put him back in the rotation. You don't mess up his repertoire as a bullpen guy. He's a rotational piece. I believe in Clark Smith, and you put him back in the rotation. So it's going to be interesting what they do with Nestor now. I think you put him in the bullpen as a long reliever come playoff time. So that's another option for them. But like I said earlier, it's a great problem to have for a championship team that's trying to win a championship. And I'm just happy that all these reinforcements are coming back at the right time. So
Yeah, no doubt. And what about with the bats? Like, because you have John Birdie coming back. You have Anthony Rizzo, Jose Trevino. Like, I think we already established Trevino. I think when he gets back, Narvaez is going to get sent back down. But what about with John Birdie and Rizzo? I mean, because I think Erica was agreeing with me on this one, but I see Ben Rice getting sent back down, and they're going to have Rizzo. And then what happens when John Birdie gets back? Because he's a valuable piece, actually. I John Birdie was good prior to his injury. Who gets moved? You know what I mean? Like they have like a little bit of a jam in their infield. So what are your thoughts?
I agree with Eric. I think Ben Rice will get called. I mean, be sent down when Rizzo comes back. And Ben Rice has been struggling a little bit, so maybe if you could put him back to Scranton, and maybe he can get some at bats there to get the confidence back, and get his batting average up. So that's the key, getting his batting average up. So if you set him down to Scranton, he'd be good over there. But Rizzo, I don't know, Rizzo. I'm concerned about Rizzo, but I got to see. We have to see how he does when he comes back, but. When I don't know who to send down for John Birdie. It's crazy. I mean, obviously Cabrera's producing, DJ LeMay is producing, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting what they do with the roster. So, but we just have to wait and see. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because like you knew that this was gonna happen. They were gonna get some of these reinforcements coming back. So it's just like I was wondering about this in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, yo, how are they gonna add all these guys? Because you're gonna have to move some folks down. And yeah.
And I'm really surprised that they didn't end up trading Gleyber Torres. I'm
not surprised.
I'm still shocked he's still on the roster.
Yeah.
If he was traded, if he was gone, we wouldn't have this problem. I think having him still on the roster it's like a, I don't know, but so now, like I said, we just have to see what they do. But I'm still surprised that Gleyber is still on the roster.
I'm not surprised, honestly, because I know a lot of people were saying DFA him or he'll get traded at the deadline. I'm like I was like, guys, I see him finishing the season as a New York Yankee. I really do. I know Erica was agreeing that that you're surprised that he's still on the team, but honestly, I'm not. I'm really not. I was like, this guy's gonna be a New York. He's gonna finish the season as a Yankee. He'll no doubt wear a uniform next season elsewhere. Where that is, I don't know, but we'll see. But folks, I'm sorry for the long wait. I mean, I had a few folks come on, and I'll put the link out to the open panel. Like I said, I'll invite you all up one at a time, and I want to get your thoughts. I want to get everybody's thoughts on some of the guys that we discussed who's coming back, and I want to get everybody's opinion on what moves the Yankees make, like who gets moved. When the reinforcements make their comeback. So, yeah, there's the link. So we'll try and rock out till about noon, and then we'll go from there. But that's the link right there, folks. So for anybody who wants to come on up and let's talk. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, like, again, I like where this team is. I like the fact that they added Jazz Chisholm.
Yep.
Overall, they've been playing a lot better. And I think they're gonna continue that way. So I hope they get a game in today. That's what I'm hoping for. So
Yeah, actually.
I think
because
to be
I know
honest,
everybody. Oh, what was that, Nathan? Go
oh
ahead.
sorry, yeah, sorry. I was gonna say I have a feeling that Michael talking, you don't get rid of. You keep talking.
I
But
agree.
I was gonna say I think Tim Hill might be the odd man out here.
Yeah, but he's a lefty though.
Yeah, I know.
So that's the thing. But let me bring. So Ken, I do see you in the back. I'll bring you up here. If you don't mind, go ahead and turn your camera off because YouTube has rules about
Oh,
yeah, as far as driving because he's driving. So
I
but I'll
hope they
bring
get
him.
the game in today too. That's the thing. Hopefully they get the game in. It's raining here right now where I live in Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, is it supposed to be raining pretty hard come game time?
I hope not.
I don't know, man. Even yesterday, it kind of said it was going to rain all day, but it's like
Yeah.
light drizzle, then maybe like light rain. So it's like you could play in this. It's not the most fun, but you could definitely play in it with
Yeah.
what it looks like right now. But it does show lightning later, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so sounds like it's a little tricky at the moment. So
Yeah,
all
we'll
right,
see what happens, man.
no doubt. But I do see Jonathan in the back. You ready to go? All right, I'll bring you up.
So
What's up,
Jonathan,
Hi.
what's going on? How's
I've
it
been, I've been recovering. I haven't been well for the last few days.
oh,
Were you sick?
It's COVID.
oh my God.
Okay.
So one of those things. I get a week off and have nothing to do except listen to you. Listen to. Unfortunately, it's a bad weather today, so
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't go out anyway.
Yeah. I wanted to get your thoughts, right? Because you probably were listening on the conversation on some of a lot of the players that are going to be coming back.
Yeah.
Who do you think gets sent down? Who do you think gets moved? I mean, let me get your thoughts, man.
Well, I honestly think Cortez goes to the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has this year he seems to. One thing about Cortez is he seems to work better on a slower pitching pace, and ever since the pitch clock came in, because of the faster pace, he didn't pitch as well. Have you noticed that? So I think the bullpen will probably help him, and it will give the bullpen an added lefty lefty that they need. So honestly, that's what I would do if I were the Yankees.
Okay. Well, with the pitching side though, like who because you got Nick Birdie, Ian Hamilton coming back. Who gets moved out of that bullpen? Like, what do you think happens?
Let me see again who's on the. I don't know. I don't know about Jake Cousins. Maybe he's the one that gets left out.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing well, so I'm not sure. They just traded for Adelo Santos, so they're not going to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to have a lot of choices to make because they have a roster crunch now. That's the big. Will Warren is definitely going to spend the rest of the year in the minors because they have no room for him.
Right.
And that was the problem when they got extra pitching at the deadline, relief pitching. They actually, I honestly thought they needed one more starter, but it's possible, and I know the Yankees do not do this, with all the extra bullpen arms, it's possible they make one game like a bullpen game. Have an opener style game. We're going 2 to 3 innings, and work the bullpen the rest of the game. That's because they have 3 starters and a lot of bullpens right now. I don't really see a 4th starter until Schmidt comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would think should be done. Of course, the Yankees don't operate like that, and I have no connection to Boone. But,
None of us do.
but I just think they have too many arms and not enough places to play them. So they're going to make hard decisions, and I'm sure some of us will not agree with them.
Got it. What about with the bats? Like, because I know you got Rizzo, Trevino coming back, John Birdie coming back. I think. Well, let me get your thoughts on that. Like, what moves are made with that? Do you think?
Well, I know this is an unpopular position, but I wouldn't be surprised if Torres gets DFA'd. I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised if Torres gets DFA'd because they have, again, with the pitching situation, they have more hitters than they know what to do with if all these guys come back healthy, and Torres is just not he's getting in his own way. He's not there this year, and at this point, he seems to be more of a liability, especially on the defense.
Understood. So you think? Oh, go ahead.
You didn't try to move him for anything, and then you're going to DFA him.
That was a mistake. They should have tried to move him for either IFA money, a minor league prospect, or just cash to get him off the roster.
That's why I don't see them DFAing. They would look so silly.
They have no room for him. They have too many. This is the problem that they've started with throughout the year. They have too many guys that play the same position, and when those guys are not playing well, such as Torres right now, you have to make a decision. Honestly, if it was me, I would have brought up Vivas and let him play every day like they did with Volpe. I want to see what Vivas can do.
So, go ahead, Erica.
I think it's too late in the year to be bringing up guys to see what they can do, especially.
I know. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about 2 months ago.
Yeah, listen. Here's the thing with Torres, right? Because you go back to last season, he was actually a bright spot. He was outside of Judge. He was like your second best hitter.
Yep.
They were hoping that he was going to have a great year this year. I was hoping he was going to have a great year. I thought he was going to have a great year. Going into a contract year, even if he had an excellent year, let's just say he did. I don't think there was any way that the Yankees were going to bring him back anyway because of who they got in the minors. But I thought he would have had a great year being in the contract year. But he's hurt himself, right? Not physically, but just some of his defensive woes and his base running, like stuff like that. But I thought he would have had a better year. He didn't. Now, honestly, who knows? Maybe the Yankees did try to trade him in the deadline. I mean, we didn't hear anything, but from the Yankees themselves. But maybe they tried trading him. They were listening in on offers, but they probably didn't think it was worth it. Which, I mean, I understand. Him being DFA'd at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. I'd be shocked if it did, because I've been saying that this guy he's going to finish the season out as a New York Yankee, but he'll wear a uniform elsewhere. So I don't think he's going anywhere. Like I said, I'd be shocked if the Yankees if they did move on from him. Hey, wish you the best, but I don't foresee that happening. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned earlier, I with Birdie coming back, with a guy like Birdie coming back, I could see Oswaldo Cabrera probably getting the axe, and I hate to say that, but
I know.
You know what player would be very interesting to watch in the majors as a September call-up would be Philip Durbin.
Caleb Durbin definitely, but I don't think he's going to be a September call up.
I know he won't be, but he would be a very interesting player to watch.
He's been he's a player to watch out for the next year or so, or 2 years. But
yeah, but he is one player why I don't think the Yankees should even give Gleyber the QO.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I don't think they're going to give Gleyber Torres a QO, and I think
the Yankees are very strong in infield catching depth, so they don't really need Torres on this team after this year.
Yeah, well, there's probably going to be a competition between Durbin and Vivas to see who gets the job next year, the starting job at second base. So. We'll see what happens, but that's.
Do you see Chisholm staying permanently at third?
Possibly, I could see it, but I like him better at second. But I can definitely see the Yankees keeping him at third. But that's a conversation for a different day. But let me get your final thoughts there, Jonathan, because I got a couple of other people waiting, and we'll drop you down.
Well, with a day like today, it's very unlikely you'll see a game. I'm hoping you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even see who today's starter was.
I think it's Nestor Cortez.
So, as far as Nestor Cortez, let's just assume the game is going to be played.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him pitch at least 6 innings and give up two runs or less. That's what I would like to see if there is a game today. But hopefully he can not. He needs to. Sometimes I see when Cortez is pitching, especially, he tends to rush his pitches too much because he might be too game clock oriented, not used to the game clock, because we know he used to do all those funky moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he just needs to have a steady pace, not do anything too rapid, and just smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth and control. If he can work on his control and his smoothness of the pitch, I think he's going to return to the nasty Nestor we remember.
No doubt about it. But Jonathan, thank you for coming on as always. So appreciate your input, and we'll be dropping you down, and I'll get the next person up. So thank you, Jonathan. We'll see you next time, bro.
Thank you.
Feel better.
Yeah, feel better, man. Feel better. Yeah. Get rid of that COVID crap.
Yeah.
I'm already on all this shit they gave me.
No doubt, bro. No doubt. All right. Yeah, take it easy,
man.
man.
My voice too.
Yep. And Wendy, what's up? First time seeing you on the channel. What is going on? Thank you for joining in. Hopefully you're having a good day. But I'm going to actually invite a couple of people up real quick, because I'm going to get Ken up here, and then Nosebleed. You both ready to go? Just give me a thumbs up. I think I saw a thumbs up from Ken. Nosebleed's ready to go. Sweet. Let me get Ken, and let me get Nosebleed. What's up, Ken? What up, Nosebleed?
How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? So, the same questions to the both of you. Who gets dropped when all these You're good, Erica. You're good. Who on the pitching side, with some of the pitching reinforcements coming back, what moves do you think are made? All right, and just want to get your thoughts on that, and then we'll move to the offensive side with the bats. What moves do you think are going to get made? But Nosebleed section, I'll start with you, man.
Since Cousins has an option, he's probably the odd man out. I don't think they're going to DFA Canley because of the money.
Okay.
And on the offensive side, I think Oswaldo is the odd man out if Birdie comes back. If Birdie comes back to the majors.
That was my thought. So, with Clark Schmidt making his way back, and I know he's trying to get back into the rotation, do you see Nestor moving back to the bullpen?
I see Clark going to the bullpen because he's not starter ready.
Okay.
But I also see Clark Schmidt and Nestor Cortez back to back in the same game to get more length.
Okay. What about on the offensive side? Because you got Rizzo, Trevino, John Birdie. They're making their progress right now. They're making their way back. What moves do you see the Yankees making?
I really like the team the way it is. I don't want them to mess it up. But
Right.
I think Rice might be the odd man out because he's got options.
Right.
Hopefully, Rizzo comes back to being semi-Rizzo because they have the same kind of batting stats.
Mm-hmm.
Rizzo has a little bit more experience. I won't say he's a better glove. I say he's more experience because he's made some boneheaded errors this year.
No doubt. What about with Trevino? I mean, you know the Yankees are going to find a roster spot for him. Do you see Narvaez getting sent back down?
I like Narvaez, but unfortunately, he's going to be sent back down so they can bring up Trevino. But I don't really want Trevino here. I'd rather have Wells and Narvaez. I trust their arms and their defense better.
Yeah. I mean, Narvaez is like when we were talking with Erica and Damian. Narvaez is probably going to be that guy next year to back up Wells. So you're going to see those two. But right now, I think right now they're gonna stick with Trevino, and Narvaez is probably going to send back down. I mean, I think it's inevitable that was going to happen. But I want to get your thoughts on the John Birdie thing because they have a logjam of the infield. I know we talked about Oswaldo Cabrera getting moved potentially, like back down, getting sent back down maybe. I know Jonathan wants Gleyber Torres DFA'd. I know he's been wanting Gleyber Torres off this team for a while, but and I understand. But let me get your thoughts on John Birdie coming back. What do you think?
I like Birdie, but I don't know if they're going to bring him back to the majors or just leave him in AAA because there's just no room. I mean,
right.
we're kind of good right now. Jazz is holding his own at third base.
True.
And Torres has a bat, and he's good in the playoffs, so they're not going to just DFA him. They need him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like. I've been saying it. Torres is not going nowhere. Like he'll wear a different uniform next season, but there was just no way that they were gonna move him or DFA him. So, but awesome. But Ken, same question to you.
Yes, sir. Bullpen. It's interesting. These guys are coming back, and I know that Efros is having a hard time. The guys that are coming onto the IL are going to have to earn their slots. The victim I see is possibly Tommy Cangley. The money that he's owed, he's a free agent at the end of the season. We're 2/3 through the season, so the money that was owed to him isn't a lot. I seriously doubt they'll make an attempt to re-sign him in the offseason, so I could see him being sacrificed. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just. I thought you were going to continue.
No, I didn't hear anything, so I thought I dropped.
Oh no. You're good.
Cousins has options. He could be sent down, and I believe we have him for another year past this season. But like I said, the guys coming back from the IL need to earn slots. It shouldn't be for granted that they're coming back and going to be there.
Right.
There's been talk about Clark Schmidt. He started his 20 pitch throwing session here earlier this week. He's supposed to do another one on Saturday. With that timetable, that doesn't put him actually on the mound until the first week of September. So I don't think that he'll be stretched out to actually be a starter. So he may be the guy that comes up into the bullpen. Keep in mind, the September call-ups, we have 2 slots there. So, and I'm quite sure one of them is going to be an arm. So you're probably looking at 1 or 2 moves in the pen itself.
So you see Canley being DFA'd and Cousins being sent back down?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Interesting. What about with the bats?
All right. Rizzo, there was an interview a couple of days ago that they're within 2 to 3 weeks of talking about Rizzo's spot on the team. He's an older guy with his injury. I'm very skeptical that he'll come back to the majors this year as an active player.
Okay.
I can see him being the bench leadership, giving support to whoever's there. We talk Nick Birdie. Nick Birdie is going to be on the team. He's an older guy. He's got experience. Everyone tends to think that Oswald is going to get whacked, and I don't think that's the case. I think that they're going to send Ben Rice back down to the minors.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say you got the wrong Birdie, so you're thinking of John Birdie. Nick Birdie's the pitcher.
Yeah, I said John Birdie. I was talking about the guys in the line.
Okay.
You've got DJ who can play first. You've also got Oswaldo who can play first. So you've got 2 viable people to play, and being that Rice hasn't been hitting well, he probably needs to do adjustments because pitchers have figured him out. I can see him being sent down.
So
Trevino.
Yeah.
Trevino, I'm not sure that he actually makes it back to the Major League roster this season either.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Hey, NFE.
Yeah.
I got to drop. I have a meeting coming up, but thank
You're
you.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks for coming on, Nathan. We'll
And then we'll
see
keep
you
you
soon, bro.
posted. We'll keep you posted on the guests also.
Yeah. Keep me posted, bro. Keep me posted because stay tuned, folks.
Yep. See you guys.
All right, Nathan. Thanks for coming on, man. And shout out to my guy, Nathan. Thank you, bro.
Yep.
See you later. Oh, my bad, Sunil. I added you. So, what up?
Hey, no introduction, man. Just flat out add me. Why don't you?
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. So I'm gonna do that.
I know because I was basically being your worst nightmare in the chat earlier. I know, I get it.
Yeah. You're my worst nightmare. I'll bring it back, bro. So you better watch.
I know. Keep the mats where they are.
But so same question to you, man.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
Replacements. Let's start on the pitching side.
Hill, even though he's one of the commodities we need, a lefty in the pen, I could see him being one of the casualties, either DFA'd or sent back to the minors. I'm not sure about his options. Cousins, as strong as he's looked, there's also, as Nosebleed brings up, the whole conflict around Canley's money and the ability to DFA him and the willingness to eat that. So it's likely going to be Cousins under those circumstances. Coming to the infield defense, if we are somehow able to get rid of Torres as the popular consensus would like, I'm inspired to do my version of Ryan Reynolds at the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine and go bye, bye, bye.
What?
Exactly, Ken. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody needs to take the crack pipe away from Snell now.
Yeah.
There's no crack pipe here. Keep trying.
But I don't listen. Torres ain't going nowhere. I'm just
I
gonna
know.
just
I know.
he ain't going nowhere.
It's very wishful thinking. I know.
Yeah, it is wishful thinking.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, any other thoughts on the roster? Like anything else you want to bring or want to say?
John Birdie, I know he's basically going to be your choice at second or third, on certain days. Not quite sure if he's considering he's already one of the corner infielders at third, not sure about his ability or if he's ever played first as an alternative. So that probably could give you, your platoon bat at first base if you don't want to see DJ there, because DJ is kind of like the older guy. No, they're both really old, actually. They're both in their mid upper 30s age wise.
Who DJ and
But
Birdie?
yeah, DJ and John Birdie, yeah. So
Birdie has experience at all four infield positions.
okay, all right. So he could even be spelling Volpe if ever Volpe needs an off day. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm started his career with the Diamondbacks, and he was actually a shortstop. So there are a couple of options to spell Volpe.
Yeah. But I'm more concerned about spelling Torres on defense, because his Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hydeness, of hustling out of the box or faking that, blatant error late in the game. That's the big red flag for me, more so than Volpe. Volpe, leave him alone.
Yeah, no doubt. What's
Mhm.
up, Sean Browning? How you doing? I don't know, man. I've like the last couple of weeks I've been just kind of like exploring in my own head what the Yankees are going to do once these reinforcements come back. It's just I don't know what they're going to do, and I know, like Ken said, they're going to have to earn their spot, no doubt. They're going to have to earn their spot. Hopefully, these guys make they for their sake they make their progress and do what they need to do, but. I hate to be. I mean, it's a good problem that they have. They didn't have this problem last year because of all the injuries and players. Oh, it's Erica.
That's not me.
Yeah. We're still on. We're still on. Today's a special day, so I wanted to go on a little bit longer. So normally it's not like this, there, Ray. But man, again, the Yankees are in a good position right now to, make these decisions. It's a good problem that they have. I'm glad I'm not the person that has to make that decision because those decisions are hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something that they need to consider is they've got 14 people to protect on the 40-man roster for this upcoming Rule 5 draft.
True.
So they're going to have to make a bunch of roster moves because I believe there are players that are currently on the 40-man that won't be protected, like Peraza, for instance. And I'm not sure how many of the pitchers they have that are actually going to be eligible for the Rule 5 this coming season or this winter. So that may be where they make their adjustments for looking at bringing people up for the postseason roster.
Makes sense.
So for September call-ups, do you see one of either Arias or Vivas being one of them being called up in September?
No, they have two. They have two call-ups, and one of the two is going to be Jason Dominguez.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the second one is most likely going to be an arm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. It's probably and if they need lefties in the pen, my money is going to be on Victor Gonzalez.
Possible.
That's possible. Yeah. Real quick, nosebleed. Like I know you've been pretty quiet there. So what are your thoughts, man? Let's get your thoughts here because we'll wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes.
Well, for the call-ups, I believe Dominguez is going to be one, and I agree that a pitcher is going to be the other. I don't know who that pitcher would be. I don't know if it's going to be Gonzalez or somebody else. I really don't know yet.
I could see Gonzalez. That's a possibility. Who else is there? I mean, I definitely don't see Will Warren. I do not see him. There's another guy down there.
The thing that was concerning yesterday when I was at bowling, I was listening to a play-by-play, and man, the fans were just killing Warren. He's a bum. We should have traded him. Blah blah blah. Fans have to have realistic expectations with these guys. I mean, the guy is in his second major league game. Obviously, we don't think he's postseason ready, but he is definitely a contributor to the future. And Jason Dominguez, when we bring him up, are fans expecting that he's going to be the 8-game wonder that we saw? I mean, I hope that they give him allowances to actually feel his own and actually be a productive player for the Yankees.
Yeah, I think Jason Dominguez has a lot of he's got a lot of potential. So I mean, but I'm definitely not gonna be one of those. I mean, I don't think any of us here on this panel are gonna be any of those fans that's gonna crap on him if he craps to bed. But then with Will Warren,
that kid has more pressure on him than any guy coming up since Judge.
Yeah.
Dominguez?
Yeah, Dominguez.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of pressure on him, is what Ken is saying, and he does. A lot of fans have these high expectations from him. It's just I was just saying, Erica, that I'm not gonna crap on him. If he's in this slump, it's kind of like some people are crapping on Will Warren. And I'm like, he just made 2 career starts in Major League Baseball. You can't make a rush judgment like that. I mean, you got to give these guys time to develop. So
you see it with Rice right now. Rice came out with a hot start, and has been faltering, and he needs to be back down in the minors. Blah blah blah. Send him down. Like bring up TJ Rumsfeld.
Yeah, and who's to say if TJ Rumfield would he? I'm not saying he would suck, but I mean, would he be better? I mean, we don't know. You got to, again, I'm always all for playing the youth, calling up the young guys from the farm and play at the major league level. But understand that these guys are going to go through growing pains, and they're gonna make mistakes. It's inevitable. They're going to make mistakes, but that's something that fans have to be patient with. But that's
why we hold with
You are cutting out, Ken. Connection is a little wonky right now there, man. Well, let me drop Ken down real quick, but when he gets back. But I think, Erica, you wanted to say something?
No, it's just the impulsiveness of, I think, playing in New York fan base. I mean, look at Jazz Chisholm. He struck out 4 times, and if you go on Twitter, which is why I got rid of it, I'm sure there was a ton of people saying this is why we shouldn't have traded for him. Cashman made the wrong move. Blah blah blah. So it's any player. It could be a rookie. It could be a veteran. I mean, people were talking crap about Aaron Judge's first month. It's just. I think it's it kind of comes with the territory of playing in New York. I'm not sure if other fan bases, other than maybe like Philly or LA, are the same way. But we just gotta be patient. And I think that Dominguez is gonna be great. But he is gonna see slumps too. Like everybody goes through it. And what we're seeing from Judge now is insane. Like I mean, this guy, he's the ball. It's a beach ball to him. You know what I mean? But not everybody has that skill set. It comes with time and experience, and we just got to be patient with with Dominguez when he gets there, which I think he will be here in September.
100%. But I'm gonna close it out. But let me get everybody's final thoughts. Any final words you want to say? Anything, doesn't matter what you want to say. But Erica, we'll start with you.
Gotta win. I mean, hope they play today for my sake. Because if not, then I'm gonna be super bored. But
CrossFit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd still rather watch baseball. So, yeah, they have to win today. You can't lose a series to the Angels. Nestor's coming off a big win against the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to paint it as a good outing. I think he got lucky a little bit, but he was able to get out of tough situations. So hopefully that just carries over. Please, when you're ahead of the count against a batter, close them out. Don't freaking walk, because that tends to happen. Then all of a sudden he can't get them out. Once he's up 0-2, don't let the ball sit in the middle of the zone, because no matter what, if it's the Angels or the Dodgers, they're going to destroy that. They're major league hitters. So yeah, I'm just hoping that Nestor carries over the win from the other day, and that the bats get it going again. Last night was the first time in a while that they haven't scored more than 5 runs. So
no doubt. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Nosebleed?
Yeah, I think the lineup will be okay once everybody's done with their little day off, because it's a doubleheader. I think the lineup will go back to scoring. As long as the pitchers don't try to nibble and walk people, that's their biggest downfall, because then, a solo home run is okay, but a 3-run or a grand slam is no good because you walk people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ken, can you hear me?
I think he's on mute.
Yeah. Ken, unmute your. Oh, hold on.
He is
Ken,
on mute. Yeah.
Oh, why is this not letting me?
I think he's personally muted himself. That's probably what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know if Ken could hear me. Hit your mic is muted. I'm trying to mute it on my end. It's not letting me, so you might have to do it yourself. Okay. It's all good.
He probably had connection issues.
Probably. Sunil?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the event if it turns out they don't play, I just hope the Orioles lose so we can get that half a game lead back the other day. Like I said jokingly the other night, the only reason we temporarily took first place is the Yankees didn't play much less. We didn't see a Glaber error.
Which is a good thing. But awesome. Yeah, no, I hope like I said, I'm interested to see what moves the Yankees are going to make once these reinforcements come back, because this was something when I was wondering, thinking about what I wanted to talk about on today's show, I'm like, you know what? Reinforcements, because they're going to start making some moves, and it's going to be interesting to see what moves they make. And we'll see if hopefully today's game gets played. I mean, based on how people are talking, it sounds like it's not going to happen, or they will squeeze a game in. I hope they do, because I don't know how the hell they're going to make the game up, with the Angels, because they're
probably going to have to take a common off day between both teams, and it's going to come to a very weird travel situation for LA, depending on when that common off day is going to happen. That's typically what they've done in past years.
Probably, I can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I know. Hopefully they get it. Hopefully they get a game in, so Erica doesn't lose her mind, and I'll be able to do a pregame. That would be amazing.
Hey, if they don't play, at least Erica, I got a suggestion for you. If they don't play, you can at least strum your guitars a little bit. I saw those guitars on Hector streams in the background. I wanted to ask you what's your music of choice, because that's a pretty good collection.
When it comes to guitar, it's mostly alternative rock music. But when it comes to
there you go.
R&B,
all right. Okay. Yeah. So maybe we get a little Erica Garcia and Bernie Williams, duet action.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. I mean, I actually wanted to be over there. I wanted to throw it in Hector's chat. I was like, we got a guitarist amongst our fan base here.
Yeah, not quite as good as Bernie Williams, but fake it till you make it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, Bernie's Bernie.
Yeah. Well, if there is a game today, I do plan on doing a pregame. Erica, if you want to come on, I'll let me know. And maybe if I was doing a play-by-play on the commercial, next play-by-play, if you do come on, Erica, during the commercial break, you play some tunes for us.
Yeah, maybe we'll start practicing a little bit.
Awesome. But folks, everybody who came on the open panel, thank you all for coming on. And thank you to everybody in the chat that came on. Thank you to the new subscribers. So, folks, if you have not yet, I'm going to drop all 3 of you down. So, appreciate you all coming on. As always, appreciate you all coming on. So, let me drop down Sunil, nosebleed section. Appreciate you, my friend. I'll go ahead and drop you down too.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you to everybody who came on. To make sure you all like this stream. Sorry, I'm like losing my words here. Make sure you all subscribe to this channel, like this stream, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it, folks. Thank you all for coming out. We went over 2 hours, so one of those rare moments. But we'll do this again sometime. Hopefully, I'll see you all later for the pregame. Hopefully, there is a game. Thank you all for coming on. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get this channel to 900 subscribers. And let's get to that 1,000. Let's get to that 1,000. So thank you all for coming on. Appreciate you all. Let's go Yankees. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Thursday. We're 1 day away from Friday. We'll see you all next time.